What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy Show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hi, everyone.
He only does everything, Colin Moriarty.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
You throw me sometimes when you say hi.
Well,
You're fine. You're fine. Don't
yeah,
worry.
don't worry about it. I don't
I'll
want
let you guys have your moment.
The pure one, Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host.
Let Tim host, indeed. And then the host with the most, Damon Hatfield.
Hi.
You're a guest.
There he
You
is,
came to the
everyone.
show.
Hey.
Thank you so much for coming.
You asked and I came.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, the GameOverGreggy Show is a weekly podcast/video show where 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table. We're in the kitchen area today to be a little bit quieter.
A little old
We're
school.
gonna be, going old school, where it all started. Yeah. We each bring a random topic together. We talk it out for your amusement. If you like that, make sure you pick up the new episode as an MP3, the full show, every Friday over at GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. Then, if you don't want to give us any money, I totally feel you, dog. You can watch it for free at YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy. Topic by topic, day by day, Monday through Friday until the entire show posts.
Oops, I almost spilled some water on this awesome shirt.
Whoa, what is that Portillo shirt all about? Whoa, that's a life-size wiener dog shirt, and it's available at districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy.
Your wiener's so big.
So I hear there's only 35 of them total.
Yeah,
made.
well, due to a shipping
exciting.
error, we are now inundated with. We've got 35 of them, so go get them if they're not. If the demand is great enough, maybe we add it to the full
bring
line
it
of
back,
shirts,
maybe.
like this shirt, this GameOverGreggy shirt.
This is the classic. This is the 1982 GameOverGreggy t-shirt.
It's
This
spelled.
is an extra large.
True story. I was conceived in this shirt.
It's true. Whoa. It was his father's shirt.
That's a meta.
And when his father climaxed, he screamed, Game
No!
Over.
He immediately started crying.
Ladies and gentlemen, not only are we in the kitchen/dining room of the PlayStation home tonight, because we have Daemon, we wanted to treat him like a real person here and be in a cool spot. We also had our first sponsorship. We played it. This episode of the GameOverGreggy Show is brought to you by Ultimate Battle. It's this new card game. It's being kickstarted right now. The link is
All
in the
the kids are
description.
playing it.
All the kids at this table, except Colin, were playing it. And if you want to know more, you go to the link below. Also, we played it before this. This is the actual thing from it that you play on. You draw stuff. It's complicated, but it's really fun. Here is a highlight reel.
Well, guess what? Out of his blowhole, a shit ton of piranhas.
Oh,
Wow.
doctor!
To reiterate,
I think you got a challenge.
Portillo
about this one.
folded the cardboard into a box.
Yeah.
This is the
You
dog.
did this. This creature did this.
Do I have to be Sam Worthington's character from Avatar?
It doesn't have to be related to the
Can,
movie. Oh,
can I be Sam?
what the hell are you drawing, Tim?
Tim, is that a school?
That is my stick figure armadillo.
Oh my god, that's an armadillo.
That's an armadillo.
Did y'all put a wolf in a tent?
Yeah,
Don't spoil this.
yeah. Don't
Colin.
if they haven't seen the video, go watch
This is
the
what
video
happens
there.
when you try to box up my dire wolf.
Nobody
Is
puts
Okami.
Okami in a box. You can watch it there. Again, links in the description. Also, though, this is the thing we actually played on. You draw out what you're doing. This is a Kickstarter reward. So if you go there and you kickstart the game and you give enough money, God only knows how much, you get this guy too. So there you go.
Fun.
Damon,
Yes.
you're the guest. Start the show. What topic did you bring for us today?
I've brought with me a moral and ethical conundrum. First of all, none of us have kids
Thank God.
that we know of.
Yeah.
No.
Nick.
Why do I get that?
I'm gonna
You're the
assume.
producer/seducer.
There's,
It's in your name.
there's at least 2 floating around out there
Yeah,
that I
you
can think
produced a
of.
few in your day.
Wow.
Oh wow, Tim's on tonight.
Seducing. What
Short
happens?
ankle biters running
And
around.
you're his son?
Oh my God.
How amazing would you be? How amazed would you be if you found out I was your father, your real father, your biological father?
That would just be honestly, that'd be the best thing.
What
in
if
the
that's the time continuum from the other thing where you know how your dad came out of just nowhere and beat
Yeah.
the shit out of that guy and left him for dead? What if it was Nick coming to you to say I'm your real father and your fake dad came in and beat the hell out of you?
What would you do? What would you do?
world? Make a movie out
Sorry,
of it.
this is how it happens.
No,
here
it's
on the
fine.
show.
Let's say you did have a kid, and you're married, happily married. You have a kid, and
Wait, how could I be happily married if I had a kid?
Well, we are
okay.
nerds.
All right.
How did you not notice till then that we were full on fist in a hand and you're like, oh,
He
it
just
was
did
good.
like the kung fu. Thank you.
no, you have a kid, and it's just the best thing. It's the cutest kid ever.
You're happy. I'm happy with
Yes,
this kid.
you and your wife are thrilled. All of your friends and family are
Okay.
thrilled. You bring the kid home. Everybody's happy and healthy. It's bliss. It's like the perfect, family now. Everything is great. A year later, you find out, due to a mix-up at the hospital, this isn't actually your kid. You have someone else's kid, but it's a secret that you know about.
Only I know about this.
Well, let's say
Does
you,
my wife
you,
know?
you and your wife. Yeah.
Oh, my wife found out too.
The question is, what do? Do you return the kid? Do you exchange it for another kid? This, you've been living with this kid for a year, and everything has seemed great. You love this kid as if it were your own.
Can I answer for Greg? 'Cause I feel like this is what Greg.
Sure,
would
I
do.
want to hear. You've known me now for 26 weeks. I'd
Right.
like to know what you think.
I think Greg would probably take the kid to the people's house, whose rightful son it was, knock on the door, put the kid down, and then just as fast as he possibly could run. Just
So
run
they
out
would
of there.
definitely get to see him
They
before
get
he
two.
left.
They get two.
Who is that guy halfway down our driveway?
Why is he sweating profusely? Somebody call the ambulance. He's having a coronary.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that Greg would, because he doesn't want kids.
Right.
This was, but
No,
but the
no,
assumption is that he's happy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
at the same time,
that's-
Greg can't be happy with
For the
this.
cop-
This is too far fetched.
In this scenario, Greg is thrilled with this kid.
All right, Greg, what would you do?
I'm gonna get ice.
real.
I would turn it in. I would
You
if
flip the switch?
if I get it's more complicated than that, right? I mean, like I would have you do it. You have to own up to it right away because as we all saw in Nashville, keeping someone's birth parents from them ends badly for everybody. Hurts feelings.
But these
They
other
always find
parents
out.
think they have the right baby.
They always
Yeah.
find out.
But like,
Oh,
if,
wow.
if
Right?
That's
if-
crazy.
if I found out, other people are gonna find out. It's not like the hospital's only gonna call one of us. It's not like I just
I think
stumbled
you're
upon
really.
it. It's a hypothetical. That's
Okay,
what you
okay,
gotta
okay,
do.
okay.
I say that it's gonna come out eventually. I'd rather just own it up right now, get the Band-Aid off. You know, I only know this kid for a year. Like right now, right?
Like, the kid doesn't know you, right? The kid's not like calling you dad. It's not like
No,
it's
but
that little
like,
baby Tim Gettys looking at me and I'm like,
your
you'll
kid-
never know it's me.
No,
And I
the
just
kid
hand it off to
bonds
nice
with the
parents.
parents. The kid totally bonds with the parents, especially with the mother right away.
So this kid might be psychologically disturbed by this later. in life. Shout. Shout.
See, my thing is like,
Get it all out. Remember
I'd rather
they
get
covered
it.
that
It's going to be
song?
so much
That's
more
terrible.
painful later on to have this come to light. You know, when the kid all of a sudden gets red hair and we don't have red hair or whatever, and then when the kid finds out and calls me on this, it's like, ugh. And then it turns out that I knew. Like it's bad enough when I see her as a girl. It's bad enough when my daughter's world is shattered by her discovering that the fact that she's not really my daughter. 20 times worse. Like you don't talk for like 15 years probably when it's discovered that I knew about it from a year in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Greg. I'd have to own up and be honest about it, because 10 years later, the kid would totally use that against you. They'd be like, "I knew you were never my dad," and then you never get over that.
So you're planning. You're assuming they're gonna find out someday.
They always find out. This is the internet, right? They're
This
probably gonna
is-
run.
This is the internet.
Just generally.
This is it.
It's been a long week.
So here's the thing, though. So
A really
this
long
kid,
week.
it's a year, and you
This
say
is
it's the
the internet.
perfect kid, and you're happy with it. When you say that, it makes me think, like, until you said it the year, it made me think, oh, he gets great, grades in school and all this stuff.
Oh, I see.
So I'm like, the perfect kid. It's like, oh, man, I wouldn't trade the perfect kid. But if it's just a year,
So
how
it's
perfect
different.
Can he be?
If it had been like, if it was like 18 and that's when you find out.
Yeah.
Then
You know?
you're like, you would keep the secret to yourself.
Yeah, I
Well,
would
yeah,
keep it to
because it's
myself
just
at
like, well,
18.
he's perfect, and I want credit for that, like, because I raised him to be perfect. It's about credit.
I'm just saying, like some
100%.
some
So
babies
you're
could be
gonna
difficult.
play the long game of like, this kid's never gonna find out, because if that kid finds out that you knew,
It's bad
that's
news
gonna be
bears.
Bad news bears.
No, I get that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that it's a year changes it, because, I mean, who cares? You can just return him.
It's not a car, Tim.
Yeah.
Here's
So I
you
guess
you
it's
can't
true.
even return
So
a
here's
car
the thing,
after
or
a
don't
year.
return
But now
it.
think about this. Let's say you're gonna return it. You're gonna get your kid now, and you're gonna be like, I don't know. What's
then,
this kid gonna be like?
A year later, it'll be fine. Like, the baby's gonna be like, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna get confused for like a week.
But every time that baby acts up or that kid acts
You're gonna
up,
be like,
you're gonna be like, damn, I'd made a huge mistake.
I should have kept the other one.
See, does it take a village, Nick, to raise a child?
I think it does,
Does it?
Colin.
If it does, then you keep the baby.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, let me just add my bitters here.
what the fuck are you even saying?
If it doesn't take a village,
I don't know what he was talking about. I went 50-50. I just said
if it
yes.
doesn't take a village, it takes a village was Hillary Clinton's book.
I know you're probably not a Hillary Clinton fan. I'm gonna
No,
go on
she's
a
all right.
limb
She's
here.
fine.
So
Whatever. She's a carpetbagger. She abused my state of New York.
Everyone abuses your state.
But
Mostly
no,
in
if it
bars.
takes a village, then it doesn't matter who raises the kid directly, and therefore it doesn't have to be your child. So if you could justify it that way, then you keep the kid. If you feel like the blood bond is the most important thing,
The blood
then you
bond.
return the child. So you laugh. But I was going somewhere with this Hillary Clinton analogy.
See, I think I would just know. I would like the kid would one day grow up and say a really lame joke, and I'd be like,
You're my kid.
"No, I
Nature,
not my kid!
Nature versus
should
nurture.
have taken this kid back. Should have taken this kid. He doesn't have the Scarpino sense of humor."
Yeah. He'd be a really bad
would you do,
shadow
Damon?
boxer.
It would be a conundrum
Yeah.
for sure. I don't know if ever like.
Would it help if
Well, you get to talk to your wife about it too. I feel like that's the good thing. You have
For
this
sure.
wife that you're also equally happy
Like,
with.
Yeah, of course, and everything's good. Like, so this was kind of spurred on by our good friend Justin Davis just had a kid.
And they mixed them up with the.
Can you
No,
trade
no,
wives?
No, but
White
he
shot.
actually believes
I like
he
your- I like where your head's
believes
at.
having a kid is his purpose, and he's not religious,
Sure.
but he believes it is his purpose here to have a family and to like have offspring and continue his family.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that I believe that.
So you're not one for kids?
You can just
I think I
throw it
do
all
want to
up
have a
and
kid, but I don't believe it's like my purpose.
Yeah.
I have to further my family. Like
Right.
it's not really
There's
about
no
that.
end there. Because then what's his purpose?
So the fact that it's not like my blood kid
Oh,
isn't the most
yeah.
important thing to me.
Yeah.
So
that's
you're like,
exactly
this
right.
kid's good, it's healthy, it's
Yeah,
happy.
it's like everything's cool. Maybe
So-
everything. Maybe we'll just roll this. Of course, if you know anything about me, you know I have a Vietnamese girlfriend. So
You
if
do.
it's like not a Hapa baby, it's gonna be really obvious.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Something's
awkward.
wrong.
Well, unless
there.
it's all. It could be.
But
know?
you're,
What?
but you're,
Those
there has to be
Kansas
an
genes?
assumption that it is, because otherwise you wouldn't be like, you probably wouldn't take it home from the hospital.
and
if it
you
was
would
like-
probably know, yeah.
You'd be like,
so
this
it's just
kid
someone
has blonde
else's.
hair and
It's
blue
someone
eyes,
else's
it's not
Hapa
mine.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, think about
Yeah.
this. Think about this. Greg, I want you to especially think about this.
I'm thinking.
My Two Dads,
Oh yeah.
Great
television
show.
program that we've talked about
Arguably
every
the best
other episode
television
of this.
show ever made.
One of them wasn't
Very
the child, or one of them wasn't the child. That's not true. One of them wasn't the child's dad, and one of them was, and they intentionally didn't try because they loved the kid so much, right?
Equally,
Who
yeah.
ended up being on Step by Step. She was the middle daughter on Step by Step, or no, the oldest daughter.
Day by
The other
day.
example is Full House,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Joey's not even related to these motherfuckers at all.
Yeah, he's just a pedophile that just hangs around too much.
Yeah, basically.
Hey, I got this fucking puppet and a mullet.
Hey,
Who wants
check
to
out-
come in my garage?
Look at this joke. Oh, you're in a cage now.
No, all right. So the answer is, if you know, you're always gonna wonder, but you have to keep the child because you've bonded with the child, and blood is thicker than water, but blood is also a state of mind, right? And there are people that I feel like,
Whoa.
you know, like I love my family, I love my siblings, but there are people that, you know, Ramon, for instance,
Ramon.
that, you know, I love like family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I love like a brother, and that is the same thing to me. You know,
Yeah, but that's
as
like
a real
choosing
brother.
Yeah,
your
but-
family without like hurting anyone. Really, like you have to take in your blood child's feelings on what they think the parents who have lost their blood child. You know, what I
They
mean?
don't know though.
But they will, Colin.
How?
It all
You're
comes
just-
out
you're
in the
just
end.
assuming
You're
they
assuming
will.
that that's not part of
You
Damon's
don't know. You
scenario
don't
at
know
all.
that. You don't know that.
And if that
It
kid
always
comes out and
comes
has
out.
red hair, isn't red hair just a genetic malfunction
Yeah, it was
anyway?
a bad
Anyone can have
example.
that. Anyone can have red hair.
Wow.
No, it is. It is.
Malfunction?
It is.
Like, I
It-
wouldn't want to start my kid's life off with a lie. I just wouldn't want to do it. It's not fair to
Yeah.
anyone.
I feel like my real answer is I would just go along with it, but I would tell them very soon. Like as soon as it would make sense to tell them. And then, so that's their life. Because then they wouldn't know it's bad from the beginning.
But
You're
the
like,
kid
yo,
would be
this
like,
is how it is. We've been
Yo,
good
I
to
know
you.
you're not my kid, but I kept
But
you.
yeah, and
the
then
other
like,
kid was
but
ugly.
we'd also
Because
I'd
I
go
loved
talk to the
you.
other people too. Yeah, I loved you, and I treated you
Yeah,
good.
but the kid would be like this. But Dad, I was like one. I wouldn't have even known. Like I would never have known.
I would say this.
And then the kid would be pissed off if those people had a jet ski and you didn't have a jet ski.
Oh my god! If they had a jet
If they had a
ski,
jet ski, you could have grown up with a jet ski.
I would.
Shut
I would hate my adopted parents if I found out that my real parents had a jet ski. I'd probably murder them.
Right in the back, man. Just take that knife.
Do you know it's my dream to have a jet ski?
Jet skis.
To own a jet
Because
ski.
jet skis are the best.
Yeah.
It
they're the
is.
best.
Jet skis are cool. By the way, red hair appears in people with 2 copies of a recessive gene of chromosome 16, which causes a mutation in the MC1R protein. So don't.
But you said
So-
malfunction.
It's a malfunction.
That is just.
It's a fucking malfunction.
What is your major malfunction? I have 2 recessive genes and thus red hair.
I would always wonder about my real kid though.
I would too.
Man, what are
I'd
they
have to
like?
know. I don't think I would wonder about the kid that I took back. I'd be like, well, the kid's with his rightful parents. I'm taking my kid. And I also have to just think that like it's my kid. And let's be honest, when I was young, I was a hellion. I was just a horrible little kid running around.
Horrible little piece of shit.
I was just a piece of shit.
You were a scumbag.
And so I would not wish that on other people. I would want to take care of my kid because only I know, and like, it would probably be only I could raise my kid. I think. I think everyone else it just wouldn't be. They'd probably kill it.
That's fucking harsh, dude.
But I mean, I was my brother and I were mean growing up, dude. We were We tortured my mom.
Yeah, but I don't think that's how things work. Like, just because you're an asshole doesn't mean they're going to be an asshole.
I don't know, maybe.
That's a
I
product
have
of
a bad
being.
temper.
That's a product of being in an Italian household. It's a product of having a brother close in age
Eating
to
too many
you.
carbohydrates.
Well, no, I mean, I just feel like I come from an
The high
Italian. I
fructose
come from
corn
an
syrup.
Italian house. We're loud
it is.
and we have a lot of bravado and we fucking mess with everyone in our families. It's out of love, you know.
It's true.
My mom's. I still bust my mom's balls. She's 63, 64
That's
years old.
awesome. I like that. Greg,
Yeah.
Yeah.
think of it this way: you're at a nice restaurant
Yeah.
and you order the ribeye,
Yeah.
but they bring you the roast chicken, and you're like, "This isn't what I ordered. I don't want to cause a fuss though." And then you try the roast chicken, and you're like, "Oh my god,
I'm so glad I got
this is
roast
the best chicken I've ever had."
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Like,
That
you're not
was,
gonna, like
that's awesome.
The ribeye didn't gestate in my wife's cervix for 9 months. That is a
Very
part of us.
very biological.
I don't think it's in the cervix.
It-
I don't think
it
that's
gets
where
around there. It gets-
gestation
it gets in and around.
happens.
It's-
I'm pretty.
stuff.
Greg dropped out of medical school, but he has a little bit of knowledge about.
Yeah.
About.
He Googled it right before he came on.
There's two things I
Cervix.
almost know. It's
That's what that
business
is.
and cervixes.
Oh my cervexes.
True story. We were almost
The
called,
Cervi.
We were going to call this the Cervex Show. We got outvoted by one vote.
Well, so let's go around. I want to just go around the table real quick and find some clarity. So, Tim, let's start with you. Where do you stand on this issue that Damon's brought to the table?
keep the kid, but like be very open with
But you're
communication.
gonna tell him.
Tell the kid and also try to find the family and
That blows-
explain to them what happened. Yeah.
What?
I want everyone to know.
Then why? They're going to just say, give me the
Give
kid
me
back.
my kid
No,
back.
then we'll all be friends.
You just do this.
We're all gonna grow up together, and
They're
then
horrible
then
people.
the two kids are gonna
They're
be
white
great.
supremacists.
Well, then they'll
Let
be
me-
weird friends.
Wait, before we go around the table, let me ask you this. Would it change anyone's...
I thank you for you're beating me to the punch, but go ahead.
Would it change anyone's opinion if you found out the other kid had like a horribly debilitating disease?
Yeah, you had a birth defect. That's what I was
birth
thinking.
defect.
That's what I was
The
thinking.
other kid.
Your child had a birth defect.
So you stuck the parents with like medical bills out the ass.
Yeah.
And all this time and money.
Yeah.
So that changed it for you.
I mean, no, I still do the right
I'd
thing.
still do the right thing.
What is
Wait,
the
what's
right
the
thing?
right
What does that
thing?
mean?
You gotta
Get your
get
kid back.
No,
It's your kid.
That's not the right thing.
I would murder myself right afterwards.
That's not the right thing.
Yeah, you take your kid, your wife, you
put the
drive them off a
pillow-
cliff.
All right. So
no, me. I'm not killing
Yeah, you
myself.
let them finish it.
You put them in a nice car, you drive them right off fucking
No,
bridge.
you're not doing that either.
So Tim will keep the child, but tell everyone about it.
And then,
That's-
okay, well, can I have my
Doesn't
kid
make
back?
any
And they're like,
sense.
Why does that
no.
not make sense?
Tim, why would you tell everyone about it?
Because
It doesn't make any sense.
I would say that I would keep it to myself, love the child as my own, and as time goes on, approach the situation in a way that I deemed most appropriate. Can't make any judgments right away. Maybe when he's older, he or she, I think Daemon said, maybe she has a debilitating disease or some sort of genetic thing in the future. She needs a blood type. Then maybe you come clean and be like, well, I can't give you bone marrow, or I don't have the same blood because I'm
but
not
I know
really.
who does.
Yeah,
That's
the
the knife.
white supremacist.
Yeah, you get the knife out.
with the, that vowed to tattoo swastikas on you when you were a baby, and I took you away from that situation. So I would.
Yeah, I took you away from that situation and left my flesh and blood in it.
no, because it's
Your
of no
brother's
fault.
there
You're
still.
missing the major point.
Carl.
The major point is that it was the hospital's mix-up. It's not your mix-up, and there's
But
no.
once you know
but
you're an accomplice.
But Greg, there's no saying that the other like you might break up break the hearts of the other family too that maybe have also bonded with this child. You haven't even considered the other side at all.
This
so
baby's
the status
a good
quo.
white supremacist. She's the perfect white supremacist.
Maybe the best thing
baby.
to do would be to take both babies, right? Put them in a dark room, and then whoever one of the parents gets to first, that's the one that the parent was supposed to have. You know, where you just kind of like feel around, like this one.
how
And then
does
you
that
take it
solve
out,
any
you're
of
like,
this problem?
You like
It's
you
mine.
smell it and you this one smells like mine.
Yeah, you just get like how blind people pick fruit, sort of.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen
it's
that.
like how
Yeah.
blind people pick fruit.
That's
Yeah.
a great analogy.
Are we bleeping that one?
No. I'm gonna leave it in there so we can see how stupid you are. What does that even mean?
I don't know. How people, you know.
Have you bleeped anything on this show?
Yeah, we bleeped some stuff.
Really?
Last week we did an episode about who you'd want to trade dicks with, and without thinking, Nick blurts out people we know, and then it continued. Nick and Tim went down that path of like, well, I'd like so and so's dick, and we finished, and I was like, I don't know about that one, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, Greg immediately was like,
Look.
"You guys have to go through that now
No,
and
you-
bleep out every name."
I'm
'Cause
really
we're
I'm really flattered, you guys.
we described it. We described yours, Damon, in at length.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Just to remind you, Nick, red hair appears in people with two copies of a recessive gene on chromosome 16.
They're mutants, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
it's a function.
I've been watching a lot of X-Men lately. I've been reading X-Men, the Astonishing X-Men, so I know mutants.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really good.
Jean
comic
Grey has
series.
red hair.
She's a
Oh my
mutant.
god, this makes sense.
What did you call it?
malfunction.
All right.
Wrong word.
That was not the right word.
Also, we bought pop filters.
I can't even intentionally pop the mic.
You haven't popped at all. Nope. That's a little pop.
All right. We did God's work on that topic.
It's good. Are we allowed to use the restroom during the show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
do whatever
sure.
you want.
Yeah, don't worry. We're a conversational bunch of
Take
idiots.
your mic into the restroom with you if we'll go that
Can
far.
you scoot by? Is that enough room? I don't know how much room we got.
Let's listen to everything. That's going on.
Tim,
Yes.
give me your topic.
So I think it was last week. We somebody mentioned. I think it was Colin. It sounds like a Colin thing to say. He mentioned the word damp, and it upset me. It upset me dearly. Was it damp?
It was damp.
Yeah, a lot of people were tweeting me I guess one of the quotes, which was "Damn girl, you're damp."
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know who said
It
that
turns
though.
out-
Did I
no,
say
it
it?
turns
said
that. It turns out in England, that's actually does mean that they say that. Hey, that girl's damp for you, or that girl's damp.
Really?
And it
They
means
say
that
some
she's
weird
turned
shit
on.
in England, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
I don't know about that. They can grab their bevs and go do whatever they want.
They got to
but-
go to the loo.
Yeah.
It's just my dad's name.
Oh, wait, is Cheryl in the bathroom? Maybe she was probably taking a shower. So you.
should go in.
Yeah, my girlfriend's in the bathroom
Go
too.
in.
She's fine. She's fine with
She's
it.
taking a bath. Christine loves them baths.
Pee in the sink.
Yeah, we're fine. We're a laid back
Everyone's
household.
peed in the sink. We went to college.
Yeah, I did do it in the sink. Once I opened the bathroom door in college to the crappy Antler House bathroom, and it was like, I don't know, 3 a.m. after some party. I mean, like in Missouri, you know, it's 1,000,000 degrees in the summer, so the windows are wide open, and we didn't have screens. And I opened the door, and there's just a bat flying on the thing, and I just shut it, went and peed in the sink, right back to bed. I was like,
awesome.
someone else can deal with the bat in the bathroom right now.
There was
Wait,
one
do
time
you-
when I was
do you
like
pee-
12.
Do you pee in the sink before you go outside to pee?
Yeah, I did this time. That would have been a better
Because
idea.
my first thing would have been go out on the lawn.
No,
and
that's a
pee.
great idea. I should have done that. You're right. That
Growing
makes
up,
a lot of sense.
growing up in Riverside, I used to do that just for fun because it would be so hot. And you'd be outside anyway, and be like, I'm not gonna go inside, waste air conditioning, because you open the door.
Yeah.
You just go outside.
That's a good idea.
It's very liberating.
Should have done that. Shouldn't have.
There was one time when I was 12, I was sleeping and I woke up and I had to pee and I had some garbage I had to throw away. I went to the bathroom, threw the garbage in the toilet, went to the garbage and just started peeing. And I'm like, oh my God. And I realized I started peeing into the garbage.
Yeah.
That's
I was
really
bad.
weird.
It
When
was
I-
really
Your
When I
parents
was-
should have given you back to the people
Yeah,
that you
seriously.
stole from.
Right.
Your
Should have
house.
given me back
Someone's
to me.
upset.
You
When
should've
I
come
was
back
a
to
little
me.
kid, and I've never told anyone this story.
Really?
Yes. No, I don't think I've ever.
You
said
like to
it.
tell stories, so I can't believe there is a story you've never told
Well,
anyone.
it's one of those things. How often do we just start talking about peeing in weird places? It doesn't come
Every
up all that-
episode. Every episode.
Well, I've
we
never
talk
told this
about
one.
that.
When I was a kid, for some reason, I had gotten it in my head. I don't know, monsters or ghosts or whatever. But I was like, I didn't want to go out of my room to go to the bathroom, so I'd pee in this Dixie cup I have, and then I would toss it on the wall behind my dresser.
You what?
What? Wait. There's 2 problems with this story. You were peeing in a Dixie cup? What do you have? The bladder the size of a walnut?
And why do you have Dixie cups in your room?
I don't remember that part of the story. I don't.
And then you
would
would just splash it on the wall. Yes. You were like 16 years old, weren't you?
Did your mom come in and just
No,
go,
no
"Why
one
does-"
ever called me on it. I was perfect.
just
And then
like,
we
"Don't
moved
go
out
to
of the
Greg's
house.
room."
It's like that smell.
And I guess I didn't do it that much. It must have been only maybe 3 or 4 times in my life.
That's fucking weird.
I know.
That's a great. So, how old were you?
I don't know. I mean, I was young for sure.
Is this what playing the Master System as a kid does to you?
I made a lot of bad decisions as a young child.
Wow.
I think the word lube. That's a weird word.
So yeah,
to
good
me.
mess
back
my
to the
topic.
word- yeah.
Oh,
It's-
wait a minute. I cannot believe that word bothers you.
Lube. It does. It just bothers me a
Yeah.
little bit.
See, there's a lot of words that,
What
I
does that
like
mean?
that I
Because
enjoy.
you're just like you're very
Mr.
like
Lube.
I
you're
do.
very
I do talk.
You're looby.
You're very
explicitly.
like crass, like
I am pretty
easygoing,
crass. You're a
like
scumbag.
free flowing person.
Not a scumbag. That's just not a nice thing to say to people,
Yeah.
Greg.
I like it. It shows my
I don't
endearment.
understand
You're hurting
why
his
you always do
feelings.
that. The producer seducer is it's accurate. Watch out, ladies
It takes a
And
village.
men.
and men.
Lube.
Yeah, lube's just a weird one. I don't know why. I just think that one's.
So I don't think we ever officially said the topic.
You did say the topic.
No.
Didn't you?
No, we went off talking about pee.
I think people are assuming it's
Yeah, it is
words,
words
that you don't like.
It's words that we don't like that bother us
Oh, okay.
and all
yeah.
this stuff.
Lube's one of those to me. Yeah.
It's bothersome.
If any of your viewers watch GameScoop, you know there are 2 words that I just don't say.
Poop.
And
Pee.
no, I'll say that one.
You don't say poop?
Penis.
I just don't. No, I don't say that. I also
Some
don't
of
say
the
the word for
cervix.
flatulence.
Fart?
Yeah, I don't know.
Really? I didn't know that about you.
Poop and
It's-
fart.
I just do not say those 2 words.
Whoa.
My
That's-
goal in life
Is
is
it
going to
because
get
they're
you to
too
say them.
juvenile? Because poop and fart
It makes
are
me
kind
feel.
of, you feel
it
like
makes me
you're-
feel really juvenile.
What's your stance on butthead?
I'll say butthead.
Butthead's awesome.
I'll say butthead, whatever.
Fuck you, man. I'll say butthead.
I don't like saying that either. I don't. Yeah.
Poop.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
I like saying that I gotta poop.
What I wonder, what I actually
You don't say it that way though. You
when
usually
I-
say I gotta take a shit.
I gotta poop.
No, he does say. He
once
does
in a
say
while
that.
I'll
He
say
does
it.
say that.
Really?
Yeah. I also like holding in my poop until the last second.
you like that?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Where
If
you
I
just,
if I'm
like-
in the vicinity of a bathroom and there's no like worries about me getting to the bathroom in time, I don't like sitting in the bathroom for fucking 20 minutes waiting for it to come out, sitting there twiddling my thumbs, reading them. I'll wait until like it's go time,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, all right, let's go, and I'm in and out of there in 45 seconds.
That's really
Wow, that's impressive. I
Efficient.
don't. That's the opposite of me. Doesn't the pressure just build it into something that's like rock solid?
You got to let out a little bit of pressure. Remember when we talked a few weeks ago about
Yeah, oh,
pooping
yeah.
your pants on accident?
Yeah.
Sometimes you let a little pressure out, and you let the pressure out. You fart. Sorry.
Yeah.
You don't have to
Sometimes-
apologize.
some-
I just choose not to say
Sometimes you go to fart to let the pressure out, and you accidentally shit your pants. So
I've-
it's a whole risk reward kind
So
of.
you're,
It's a
you're,
risk reward
you're
thing.
threading the needle on this.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Like you're doing the river run, man.
I've given
Like,
The river run.
this is
Yeah,
this is the Kessel run. I don't even know what the river run is, but sure. I mean, if that's what you
I was
want.
gonna
to
say
do.
something about rapids, running the It doesn't matter.
I just feel like you have to maximize your time.
But the rest of us, don't you enjoy your time in the toilet?
I love it. It's
Oh,
the only
yeah.
time I get to myself. Like
It's the
Greg's not
best.
texting me or talking to me. Or
I
asking
text
me
you
to
all
do
the time while
something.
you shit.
My
worst.
my girlfriend doesn't understand it. She doesn't understand why you like spend time
I'll read a comic book.
in the restroom. Because of course she does not do that.
No, women don't do that.
Women don't ever
They
do
don't
that.
get it.
So like I'll go in there and I have a stack of magazines in the toilet, and then she just doesn't understand what I'm doing in there. It boggles her mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in and out.
You're fast too.
Yeah.
I'll sit there. I'll linger.
I can't.
I'll linger.
If I have if my phone's on me, if I'm on,
That
if I'm
song's
on
about.
like a forum, I'll just scroll for I'll read, be on the internet.
I don't
take
like
my
the
time.
word horny. I think it's another juvenile thing. It just sound. I mean, it's just sound like.
my
Oh man, I'm
problem with-
so turned down right now.
With things
I'm
like that is
horny.
there's no good word
Yeah,
for a
there's
lot
no
of things
substitute for
that
it.
we really like.
There's
Yeah.
no good word for
You
fart.
could take a cue from Austin Powers and say Randy.
Randy. Yeah, but
That
he
still
ruined it
sounds
when he
nasty.
says it.
He ruined it.
I think it outside. I used to say shag all the time. I love the shag carpet.
That is.
I don't say it anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause
You like to
ruined it.
shag carpet?
No, that's not what I said.
You like to shag carpet?
You're rubbing
No.
yourself on the carpet, Greg?
No.
You doing what Portillo does, where he has to like scratch his butt?
Greg
on the shag
rubs
carpet.
himself on the carpet.
All the time.
That's true though. There's not.
I'm turned
So
on.
here's
is
the
all.
Poop
problem
there, there's a
works,
good
I
word for
guess.
poop, but fart. There's no good word.
There's
for
a lot
fart.
of good
Yeah,
words
but
for
not even
poop.
talking about that. Like
Scat.
when we're talking about these.
Is that a thing?
I gotta
Oh
go
my
Is
scat.
that a thing?
I'm gonna go scat into the toilet bowl.
I think that's actually a type of porn.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
What is
Definitely
that?
is.
What
When
is
Scat
that?
when
ecological.
you shit on someone.
Yeah.
Is that really? I
Yeah,
didn't know
that's
this.
real. That's real.
Yeah.
It comes from Germany.
Scat is like vocal jazz.
Oh, well, that too.
Like
Yeah. But it's also
But
shitting
now
on
it's
someone.
this type of vile porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd watch the
Look it up.
musical version of Scat.
No, I probably won't look
Have
that
you
up.
seen the classic pornographic film Two Girls, One Cup?
Yeah. Well,
That was scat
That's,
porn.
yeah.
okay.
But see, there's no good word for the anatomy of male or female.
No.
You know, all of it sounds nasty or just too scientific.
Yeah.
I got a boner.
I mean, all yeah.
My
like,
penis is engorged with blood.
I have an
Yeah.
issue with that too because I try every once in a while. I'll try to talk dirty to my wife.
Talk dirty to me.
And it just
It's a great Poison song, actually.
Oh yeah.
dirty to me. And what? Talking dirty to my wife?
No, the song "Talk Dirty to Me" is a great
That's
song
an
by
awesome
Poison.
song. Talking
Surely-
dirty to my wife.
Talking dirty to
Surely
your
Colin
next
likes that
wife.
song.
Yeah, no, it is a good song. But I like originally we're gonna call it "Talking Dirty to My Wife."
Talk dirty to my wife, but it didn't have the same pizzazz
No.
as just.
They
Talk
wanted to
dirty
get the
me.
single young folk to come to the concert.
Yeah, it was written originally for 45-year-old
Right,
midlife
exactly.
crisis. No, I try every once in a while. I'll try to say something. I'll flirt with the idea of like throwing out some sort of kind of nasty
Little
phrase.
something fun, yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna say? You end up with like a mix of clinical terms and nasty terms, and my wife's just like, dude, just
Give me an example.
like, oh babe,
Hold on, let me shut my eyes.
so into this.
But now get into it. Don't
You
fake
feel
it.
so
Don't fake
good.
her. Don't fuck her.
I'm gonna insert my penis into your vulva.
Yeah, that sounds really weird.
No, but see, that's bullshit. You would not say that. I know you.
Actually, I would say that just because I
Well,
think
yeah,
it's
you would
hysterical
say
to make
that.
my wife laugh and completely ruin the mood.
Yeah.
She hates
And
it.
then
see,
you just
that-
go back to watching Law and Order. Like that's your sex life.
Only kidding.
Just like stare into her eyes, and then you hear the donk donk, and it's back to TV. Actually, now I'm on to Voyager. Have you watched Star Trek Voyager?
I haven't.
It's actually not bad. Not bad at all.
Don't believe that for a second.
It's actually pretty good, dude. It's better than that rubbish Deep Space Nine. I've never watched Deep Space Nine. I don't know.
You
if
guys
it's
are
good or
I'm
bad.
sure some fans are really upset now. But.
Yeah.
Flipping their
Nick
tables.
really likes upsetting people when it
If
comes
you
to
follow
TV
me on
choices.
Twitter, if you don't,
He's
it's
a
at
scumbag.
Nick_Scarpino. But let me know if Deep Space Nine is better than Voyager or vice versa, because I'm gonna probably watch Deep Space Nine next, but that might take me 45 years because there's so many episodes of Voyager. So it's a big time commitment. Let me know.
Colin, did we cover any words you don't like?
No.
Do you have
No,
words
he
you don't
says.
like?
Yeah.
You just like the English language so much?
I'm a big fan of it.
The myriads of the words.
The equidistance.
Equidistant. The words that actually bother me are would and could. WOULD and COULD.
Really?
As a kid, I was confounded by why these words were spelled that way, and there are still moments of like of there. I have lapses of
I just,
judgment.
the way he said the word, it reminded me of
Confounded.
like Michael Richards on stage when he went crazy. He's just like, some words.
Oh.
Some words.
Good. Thank you for that.
Comparison?
Yes.
That's a pretty bad comparison.
Yeah, I just those words just. I mean, there's we talked about moist last week, which is
Yeah.
a word that I force myself to be bothered
Yeah.
by, but then say all the time to bother people. But those two words, I have lapses of judgment every once in a while where I'm like, is it spelled like this? Could it possibly be spelled COULD and WOULD? So those are actually the words that bother me the most.
Really?
Yeah.
You have
Just those two
vendetta
words.
against those words.
Not the usage of those words.
No,
Like,
I mean they're
could
they're
I or
pertinent.
would I?
Yeah. Would. Could.
Would.
There's like a subtle L. I don't like.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that subtle L.
I don't like that at all. It doesn't have to always be vulgar. Sometimes it
No,
just has-
yeah. Sometimes just
Not only pour
pisses you
myself a
off.
drink.
Lube.
Are you done with your old fashioned? You're out of business on the old fashions down
Yep,
there?
I'm done.
Here, top me off too while you're in there. All right.
yeah. Well, I have a long list.
Let's hear it.
So I made this. First off, the vulgar ones. I do not, like I said, I do not like any of the names for these things. Like I hate when people say pussy. Like that bothers me a lot.
Like,
You're-
in what context?
any
When you're
context,
describing a
any
woman's
context.
So, like
anatomy
calling
or
someone a pussy.
calling someone a pussy or the other stuff. Like I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I like. There's a lot of other words.
What if
that I
a
don't
girl-
even wanna
now,
say.
what if
like
a girl-
the C word? When
what
you
if
call
a-
someone a C word, I'm like so not down with that.
Sure. What if a girl said pussy to you? What if a girl was like trying to talk dirty to you?
that's
She's
just,
like-
that's hot.
I
Okay,
want you
to
to. I
be
want you
honest-
to ram your huge cock into my pussy. You would be like, ew.
I wouldn't be like ew.
What?
I'd be like that's awesome. But then later upon thinking about it, I'm like, why the fuck are you talking like that? But it would be awesome at the time.
The funny thing about the C word to me is that in England, it's used like totally
very,
wantonly,
like-
and it's not even that bad. Like,
Isn't
people,
it a term of endearment almost? Like sometimes for some people, like
But
like
in
the way I
England-
called Nick a scumbag, it'd be some of that.
Well, in
Not-
England, the
not a
word
term
bloody
of
is a
endearment.
bad word. So
Bloody
yeah,
is a bad word.
yeah. It means like fucking.
Oh, yeah.
It means like it's like an.
But I mean, is it that bad?
It's like a. Well, I mean, it's like this bloody awful movie. It's like
Yeah.
saying this fucking awful movie.
Wow, that's crazy.
but they'll throw around that C word like it's no one's
Yeah.
business. Meanwhile, in the United States, that word is like people are aghast when you use that word.
It is the worst thing you can say.
Yeah, Charles out of the bathroom. It's go time.
We got to
Please
update
excuse
everybody. Bird is on the move.
It's go time. It's go
Yeah.
time. Go
Also,
go go.
Damon just said this, but I also really don't like the word cock.
Yeah, no,
It's-
I'm not.
that's
I don't
just
either. That's what we were
nasty.
talking about earlier.
And
Yeah.
I think I said this before on the show. Alexis says it in the nastiest way. She goes, "Cock."
Yeah.
And I'm like, you make it sound like there's a freaking L in there.
When
Like,
did
get out of there.
When did she say that word to you? Like, what
All the
situation
time.
is that happening
All
at?
the time.
Hey, Tim,
It's
can you pass me
upsetting.
the
It's before she does her
coffee?
stupid dance.
And, oh, that dance is the worst.
Yeah, it is. So okay, but besides those things, I don't like smoothie. It doesn't describe what it is enough. Like smoothies are good. That's weird.
You're like docking points from this word. I like that.
Nook and cranny. It's a set of words.
Yeah, nook and cranny.
But
Like Thomas's
cranny?
English muffin.
They
That's,
got nooks and crannies.
That's nasty.
that's where the butter goes in the jelly. Bro.
Usually it's bad stuff, other than Thomas's English muffin. Then it's like the nooks and crannies in your house that are dirty or whatever.
But it just sounds
the nooks and
so
crannies
bad.
of your body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got a lot of
Like
those.
your
the
pee hole?
folds. Some
Would
girl.
would that be a nook or a cranny? The pee hole.
Cranny.
That's a cranny.
Yeah,
Some-
a cranny.
That's the definition of a cranny.
If you remember last week,
Can I start referring to my penis as the cranny?
The
No.
nook and the cranny.
I need you to touch
last
my
week
cranny.
on the show we talked about boob sweat.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I was talking about my own boobs,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
sweat underneath your breasts, and some girl randomly on Twitter tweeted, "Boob sweat's just the worst." And then some fan from ours was like, "Oh, they just talked about this on the GameOverGreggy show," and the girl's like, "What? No idea who this is."
That's awesome.
That's her fault for not knowing who we are.
So going back to
Now
that,
she does.
moist, damp, don't like those.
Yeah.
Pimple describes
Really?
exactly. It describes what it is, and that sucks. Like
Would
there's
you prefer now if you had to go with one over the other for the rest of your life, pimple or zit?
was it-
Pimple.
Acne.
Like, pimple's nasty. I like pimple.
That's clinical.
It's too It's like onomatopoeia for what it is.
Right.
Also, the words frog and ointment.
You have a long list of.
Oh, yeah.
I walked away. You're
Frog.
still
Wait.
going down your
Yeah,
list.
this bothers me. Frog.
What's wrong with the word frog?
It bothers me because of how accurate it is to what it is.
That's
It's
that's
too
a
perfect.
good name.
It's too good. Like a frog could not be anything else.
A toad.
makes
but
sense.
it's just a
Ah.
Oh, I thought they said chode. I don't like chode either.
Chode's an awesome word. Chode is a word I'll defend to the day.
Grundle.
Grundle's my favorite. You taught
Grundle.
me
I
that
like
word.
Grundle. Squirt's no good. Bulbous is bad. Pus, dripping, and
Yeah.
panties. I'm gonna end on panties.
Panties you don't like. I like panties a lot.
No, panties. I got to fight you on that one.
No.
Panties are the best thing on the planet.
Panties are awesome, but they're just not good to talk about.
What do you say? How do you describe a
I don't
woman's
know. I don't
undergarment?
have
How do you
either.
even just say
Speak to
underwear?
a woman.
You can
I
say
don't know.
underwear, right? Underwear's fine.
How do you speak to your girlfriend?
I don't know.
How do you speak to
Take off
anybody,
your
any
underwear.
human being?
I just
Why is he announcing it like that to his girlfriend?
Because they're talking dirty to each other. The
Yeah.
assumption is that if we're going to use a word like these sexual words,
Well, if
everything's
I was
so
ever-
sexually charged.
if I was ever gonna talk dirty to my girlfriend, I'd call Nick and ask him. Be like, Nick, what should I say right now?
He
No,
would
don't,
just, like,
don't say what should I
and
say.
put the
just
phone
put me
up
on
to
the
his
phone.
girlfriend.
yeah, just be
Yeah.
like, Nick, can you talk dirty to my
Hey,
girlfriend?
Hold on. Yeah. Oh, here you go. That's all you need. You will be getting laid
How
in like 5
happy
seconds.
would you be if somebody called you and was like, "Hey, Nick, I want you to talk dirty to this girl"?
Oh, it would be ridiculous.
You
Everybody
should have heard some of the. Oh my
Tweet
god!
Nick _Scarpino.
When
Your
Nick-
phone numbers.
The first time Nick met my girlfriend. Do you remember this?
Vaguely.
In 2008?
It was at a Halloween party. I
Yeah.
was dressed as Snake Plissken.
Oh my god, you were terrible.
It was
Just the-
amazing.
It was awesome. It was so
It
funny.
was
I'm like,
funny,
yeah, that's
was I?
Nick.
Because she's hot. So
This
I was
weekend-
like, I was like, Colin, no. This is the one you're dating. And you're like, yeah, that's my girlfriend. And I was like, no, she's too hot. And then I just pretended like you didn't exist for the rest of the night. It's a term of endearment if I hit on your girlfriend.
No,
It
I
really
know.
is.
I noticed. I think
This weekend, I was looking through a bunch of old pictures, and I found one from last Halloween where you were a slutty Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yeah.
with your arms around my girlfriend.
Both of them? Was it a good embrace?
Well, one arm was posing.
Yeah, you gotta flex one
The
arm.
other one.
You never wrap both arms around the girls, guys. Always flex one arm just in case the camera's on.
Just in case. All right.
All right.
That one's in the bank. If I do say so myself. That's a word I like. Bank.
Yeah.
Time for my topic. I know it didn't make any sense, Damon. I'm sorry. Monday. We had the day off here in America. It was great.
America.
Fuck yeah. And I went to the movies. Saw 2 movies in one day. Saw that Godzilla.
Yes.
Saw the X-Man.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm with Damon. Damon sums it all up perfectly.
Meh.
Yeah,
I
it was,
like it.
yeah, I enjoyed that. It
But it
wasn't
wasn't
amazing.
like the yes.
So many people are like, it's the greatest movie ever.
This
Like,
is
get
Hugh
outta here.
Jackman's best work.
They said it.
No, I said that.
We all know it's Kate. It's all
Why'd you
Kate,
say it like a Thai accent?
Kate and Leopold.
That was a Thai accent?
That- yeah.
Thai roots.
Hi,
yeah.
hi-
I thought you meant like Thai the people.
I was like, I definitely did not try to say it in an accent
Just
that would be
don't try
offensive
now,
to
Nick.
Thai
I know
people.
you're about to, and just don't.
I'm not gonna do
Okay,
it.
good.
I'm not
I
gonna
felt
do
the
it.
need to safety that one.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for doing that. Here's what I came up with, though, is that we've talked a lot in our circles, one-on-one conversations about
Right.
going to the movies, yada, yada. I'm officially so fucking over going to the movies.
Greg.
I'm
Now-
ready for day and date. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Where did you see these 2 movies?
Saw them at the Metreon.
Okay. When was the last time you went to a movie at the Kabuki Theater?
It's been
here
a
in San
long
Francisco?
time, but I had gone over the Christmas break to iPix in Seattle, which is I think a nicer version of Kabuki, where you have like nice recliners. You sit, you buy your seats online ahead of time. You have your individual seats. They bring you popcorn for free. Then they come up and they take drink orders. and
Popcorn
food
for
orders.
free?
Yeah,
Getting you thirsty.
Yeah,
Smart.
The drinks you gotta pay
get
for.
those drinks. That is an awesome theater, but it's just I don't know. Something about the Kabuki seems out of the way, and it's I don't know. It's something weird about it. Like I'm excited for the Alamo Draft House, which is pretty much the same thing. That's coming to the Mission. It'll be there. But I'm so over just going to a random movie theater and seeing a movie and having we got there and like first off it's you're paying for parking that was like $20 because you're downtown San Francisco. Then we get in there and I'm not
Get
even
that
mad.
shit validated.
Can they do that some places?
Yeah.
Bro, you got to get it validated.
You go in the movies, you get there, you got to get early. You get there, you can't get the exact seats you want. You do get the seats you want. Somebody's kicking you from behind. Strangers come and sit next to you. During Godzilla, there was this hillbilly couple at the end of it. Like the guy had a mullet, and they were like talking super loud and being annoying. And I was like, ah. Kids come in, annoying ass kids.
But I think that's part of the charm for me.
Go
is that,
fuck off with your
Really?
charm.
Not all those things, but when you don't get those things, it's awesome. Right? When like it is a great movie experience, there's nothing better than that. And I'm kind of the opposite. So I'm very competitive. I like to get to the theater an hour ahead of time. And I like to stand in that line. And I count how many people from the front I am. and I think to myself, I did a good thing because I'm going to get in. I'm going to get the seats I want. I'm going to lock these seats down. And before I used to be non-confrontational. So when people would ask, can I sit there? I'd be like, oh, this is the worst thing. Now, as I get older, I love telling people that I'm saving those seats. And I love it even more when there are those two people that come in 1 minute before the previews start.
Yeah, they suck.
And they're like, is someone sitting there? And I'm like, yes. Someone sitting here.
Are they really?
You're
sitting
lying
there?
to
Somebody
them.
really?
I don't
sitting
care. Who
there?
cares?
Oh,
It's
no,
not
I was
gonna
wondering. I
matter.
wasn't sure.
I
Sometimes they are and sometimes they aren't. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
generally I only save seats for people if I absolutely need them. Like when I went and saw X-Men, Aransky he had to put up the daily fix, and so they had some technical problems and they were late. And this is a ridiculous story because it happened to me also that same night. We went and saw the movie at the Century Theater, which is right across from the Metreon.
Yeah.
Which we have all been going to the Metreon for so long that we go on autopilot. I went up to the line at the Metreon and was like, oh wait, this is the wrong theater. Aransky's like, save my seat, I'm coming. And I'm like, get me some popcorn for saving your seat. And he goes, fine. And he goes, I've got the popcorn. We'll be in there in a second. And about 10 minutes go by. Now, mind you, the popcorn is like 30 feet away from this theater. Like, I'm like, I bet I know what happened. And I'm like, are you at the Metreon? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, you're at the wrong theater. So Aransky and James, and you know Aransky, and Aransky looks exactly like you would think an Aransky would look like. Had to run.
He said that's the second time he said this on the show. I love it.
I had to run from the Metreon all down the street, across the street
With the popcorn?
With the popcorn. He comes with 2 bags of popcorn. He goes, here you go. And he got
I
there
love
in time.
that
for
they
the
let him bring it in though.
I don't think that, yeah, and it
They
was
don't
weird.
know.
They don't.
They don't
think
even
really
care.
It's just kids working there. Like,
But we
they
had
get
that great.
angry about
This is the
that.
thing about movie going experiences that I will miss once because movies are going to die one day. Theaters are gonna die.
Yeah.
Is that you put all that energy into it, and very often you don't get that energy back in the movie, right? It's never. Usually these days the movie's like always just whatever, so. But then you see a movie like
it's a
X-Men,
PG-13 movie.
right? But you see, what did you think of Godzilla, by the way?
I loved
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Okay, so you see a movie like that, and you're like, it's worth it. All that builds up, all that energy that went into it, I got it back tenfold, and this is a great experience for me. And you just won't be able to get an experience like that ever again, I don't think. But Greg, for you,
Yeah.
you are just a mile a minute, so you don't have any patience anymore for these things.
You're right. I'm busy.
too busy.
There had to be a day off of work for me to go see 2 movies I was legitimately excited about. Spider-Man, I will not see until it comes to the
Well,
instant.
You're not missing much with Spider-Man. It was pretty good.
But this is my
I
thing: is if you released it, if movies came day and date digital,
It's really good.
that's a good Greg. Yeah, Drew, a good one there. I'll take a photo and put it up, and I won't. I'll forget actually all about that, so don't worry about that.
Put your little shirt on.
If you put Spider-Man day and date on digital streaming services, I would have watched the opening night here. But instead I don't, and I'll wait to rent it. And I'm saying I would have paid, like, what is it? It's $12, $13, $14 to get a ticket in a movie theater?
It's like 11.
even
Yeah,
more,
it's
man.
$11 maybe.
insane, man.
I would
not
rent
worth it.
a day and date thing for $10.
If you get your tickets ahead of time with the convenience fee, it's like $15, right?
Yeah.
That's absurd.
And
Like-
but on top of that too is like, and then like, you know, I don't know if you know this, I have a child. His name is Portillo. So if I'm gonna go see a movie on opening Friday night, right? Like Christine and I have to sync up the fact that one of us comes home and gets the dog. God forbid I have to come all the way back here to get the dog, get back to the city to do this. It's just like,
God forbid you ask me to fucking walk that.
you hate
dog.
that dog.
Once in a while, you'll do it still.
I'm not walking it.
Because
I'll do it for you.
you're one of those guys who's all talk.
Well,
You like to act like a tough guy
I'm
here on
all
the show,
something.
but you're the sweetest, softest man I
And
know.
it rhymes with talk.
I'm all.
It's cock.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
Greg, I'm gonna one up you here. I'm gonna up the ante here.
Yeah.
And say that I'm over movies. Period. And
Period.
I've been over movies for
You're not looking
several
for it.
years
You
now.
love
You're
that
not even
Star
gonna watch
Wars
movies
7.
at home?
No.
Oh my god.
I like the. I actually, my girlfriend made me watch Don John the other day, which was fucking terrible.
Didn't you tweeted that you've now revoked her
Yeah,
privileges,
she's no
right?
longer allowed to pick anything on Netflix.
Why was it terrible?
Yeah, what?
That movie sucks.
Why? Because it paints New Jersey for the light that it should be painted in.
No, because it's just a random ass, super vulgar. Don't want to. It's funny. I envisioned myself watching that for some reason with my father. But it was
Really?
I was like, oh no.
But it had Tony Danza in it.
It has some Tony. I did appreciate the inclusion of Tony Danza.
was
I did
amazing,
remark
right?
on that several times. But
Hey,
here's,
hey.
yeah, great actor.
Thank you.
Really
I
wanted
love Tony Danza.
He was
So,
amazing.
so
You have an autographed
Angela.
photo of him.
But here's what I'm going to say. So I don't watch movies anymore. Like I talked to Greg recently about this. The last movie I saw in the theater was Lincoln.
With me.
So that was 2 years ago, maybe. And to me,
Well,
it's
there's
like
your problem. You watch that.
That was a great movie.
it was great. I liked
Man, I
it.
fell asleep during it.
But and before that, I think I saw American Reunion or whatever,
Yeah.
and then Batman. Yes.
Which one? Which one? The good one or the bad one?
Which
Bad
Batman?
one.
Yeah,
the
the
best
bad
Batman.
one.
Which was?
The Dark Knight Rises.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the only good one of that trilogy.
What? You're on this?
Oh,
you're in
man.
that camp too?
Team Bane, bro.
Team
Fact.
sane person. Yeah, team sane person.
I was like, where are you going? Oh, sane person. That's where you were walking
But
to.
here's where I'm at. So I don't watch movies, but I watch a ton of Netflix and a ton of Amazon Prime, and I'm watching TV shows all the time. And I've come to demand a really in-depth story, and I want to get invested for
I
a
agree with
long
this.
period of
You
time.
like X-Men.
90 minutes is not
Here,
enough.
here.
90 minutes
Here,
is
here.
not enough to get invested in some of these stories. And I think about something like you could tell Mad Men's story probably in a 3-hour movie, right? You could do it. Like, dude is an ad exec. He has a beautiful wife, cheats on his wife, marries another woman. Okay, like you can.
He also has this invented history that they have to
exactly.
establish.
They got away from all that. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, it's
Spoilers for Mad Men season 4
you know,
and
like
on.
I like the idea of getting invested and finding something to like. A movie just can't tell the same story. It cannot tell the same story. And so
Well,
the
same story as what? As a
serials.
book?
No, as the rise of the serial or the re-rise of the serial in the last 10, 12
Sure.
years, you know, has set the bar higher for multimedia storytelling.
Yeah.
And I go to see a movie, and I'm like, I really like the Bourne movies when I was younger. I
Yeah.
really liked those movies a lot. And I think about them now, and I'm like, those are really good. It's a tight trilogy, a tight story. But man, I would have loved a 5-season show of
Yeah.
the Bourne movies.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like really get into the nitty gritty of it.
I'm with you on this. This is what I was talking
So
about.
I just don't see movies anymore because
See,
I'm just
but
like I
that's-
can't be satisfied by them.
Well, we always
You
talk
know?
about it with, and I know you'll scoff at this, but it's proving your point, so just give me a little bit of rope, is the fact that I would say Smallville is the best live-action interpretation of Superman in my lifetime. Probably ever. Because as great as the
Better than
Christo-
Superman 4?
Better than Quest for Peace with John Cryer's breakout role. No, it's just the fact that even though there was tons of shitty fucking Smallville episodes, there was so much good of like defining that character and watching him grow up in quotes. You know what I mean? Like getting to know that like a movie can't get. You watch Man of Steel and you're just like, the fuck
Okay.
is whatever are you doing? It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
the
movie
only
sucked.
reason why I would come to movies' defenses is because you're
a pedophile.
You just can't get the budgets for shows that you can get with movies.
Cinephile,
right?
I mean, sorry.
Yeah, that second one, not that first one. You're not going to get X-Men Days of Future Past quality
Sure.
ever on TV. That's just the economics are never going to be there for it.
But would you rather have Days of Future Past story in 24 episodes with
No.
50% quality or 90 minutes
No, because
of Days of Future
the
Past?
problem for me with TV and why it doesn't win out is because look at what's happening with Mad Men right now, right? Like they have to milk these things for so long in order to get the next thing on TV, right? AMC's hurting right now. They don't know what they're going to do next. They have this.
They got Turn.
They have this cool. Is it the computer hacking show?
Yeah, Halt and Catch Fire or whatever. It's
That
called.
looks cool.
awesome.
It looks pretty awesome. But the problem with I have with Mad Men is they're forced to sort of drag these things out a little bit beyond where.
Beyond.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was drinking the bourbon.
Where they should be, right? Mad Men does seven or 8 episodes, and then we have to wait an entire year.
Yeah, I mean
for
that
the
sucks.
second
But that's
half of that.
But that's
season.
AMC's technique, man. They've been doing that with everything they have.
Right,
and it's
but
bullshit.
also with Don Draper at this point, I'm like, his character arc for me should have ended. We should have come to a resolution on that by the 3rd season. It's too long. How many times can you see a guy cheat on his wife where you're like, I don't care about this character anymore. I just don't care about.
But that's a
Don Draper
critique
anymore.
of that show.
I think that's where a lot of shows have to go. Look at Lost. Lost was amazing for 3 seasons. Then it went 2 more seasons.
But then look at Breaking Bad. And like
Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones so far has been impeccable.
Sure, but for every Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, there's like 30 television
But-
shows that
yeah,
went
but for
way
movies,
too.
it's the
Look at
same
look at
thing.
How I Met Your Mother, where it was like
okay.
season 19. And
You
they're
still
like,
have The Shield.
The entire episode's about the
you
wedding.
still have The Wire. You
Yeah,
still have The Sopranos.
The Wire's a
Arrow.
great example. Wire's
No,
what, 4
The
seasons?
Sopranos went on too long. I would argue.
I agree with you too. But I mean,
The Wire,
even like
The Wire
sixth-
would have gone on too long, but it got canceled. I think they decided not to.
But
do
the,
it, which
so
is why
The
it
Wire
good.
was awesome.
But
Which is why it's
assume
great.
but assume what you're saying is true. But that like the first, I would say the first 2 seasons of Lost were some of the best TV ever. I was
I
really
would put them
obsessed
up
with-
as the best TV ever. Probably.
And but assume like let's just say that it was
Next to
so
The
let's say
Game.
it was 3 seasons total. So that's
Oh,
24
it would-
episodes. So that's
amazing.
50 you know 50 60 72 episodes, something like that.
Yeah.
So like. But let's assume they stop there. That's still 72 episodes, 44, 45-minute episodes, as opposed to just a 90-minute or 100-minute movie.
For sure.
I'm just saying in terms of
boils down-
caliber of storytelling. I mean, think about, to me, it's like, one of my favorite shows of all time is The Twilight Zone, which I think is fucking brilliant. Just
Yeah.
an absolutely brilliant show.
Yeah.
And, you know,
One
Rod
hosted by
Serling comes
Forrest
out.
Oh, okay.
Rod Serling comes out, you know, smoking a cigarette, talking about some shit, something crazy happens. Then he comes back out, talks some more
Rod
shit, and it's
Serling,
over
here's
in
some
20
shit.
minutes.
Have you ever seen
And those are
Man's
like
Head
tight little
Explode?
stories. But think about the nuggets that they plant in your mind. And
Sure,
then you know, but then you see like Ray Bradbury's writing episodes, and all these brilliant sci-fi
Yeah.
writers are writing episodes and stuff like that. I don't like these contained movies where it's just this 90-minute one-off thing. It takes all this time. They build it up forever. It's over before you know it. There's nothing to look forward to
generally
after
it's 2
that.
hours now. They don't do 90
Yeah, that's the
minutes
thing. Is
anymore.
like nowadays.
But I get what you're coming from.
I mean, it's just the way I look at storytelling. Also, would you rather see Days of Future Past, the X-Men movie, or listen to Days of Future Past, the Moody Blues record? Because that's really the question that I really.
I don't know
need
what
to
that
answer.
second one is, but I'm intrigued.
If it's anything like Days of Future
It's a
Past,
spoken word.
So I mean, the only thing
rendition
is,
of the comic.
Colin, let me put it in terms that I think
Yep.
you'll vibe with me on. Right?
Okay.
Oh, here's some vibing.
Right. In the words of the inferior Batman movie, you either die the hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I feel like that's the problem with most TV is that it lives long enough to get that law of diminishing returns, right? Where you're like,
Sure.
I just want this to end. Like that's part of the reason why I couldn't get into Walking Dead. I've talked about this, right? Because I feel like that show's going to go on forever. That's one of the things you love about it. Is you're like, it can go on forever. For me, I need the beginning, the middle, and the resolution. That's how I like my storytelling.
So I think when it comes to the movies, though, is nowadays all the biggest things are like TV shows. They just last a lot longer. Because like X-Men is not just a standalone film. X-Men is a universe of films. The next movie is the next season. You're just getting it in a different
Potentially.
in a different way like that. It's just gonna keep going on forever. But at the same time, I want an end. I do want an end. I'm completely with you.
Yeah.
It's like I want to know that there's a story being told and that eventually it will end. That's why I like Game of Thrones. It's so awesome. There's gonna be an end. And I know it, so there's thought put into it. It's not like, how can we just keep this thing going?
Right.
Like, even with the beloved Fast and Furious series.
That was a good
just keep this
impression
thing
of
going.
George Railroad Martin.
Yeah.
George Railroad.
But with Fast and Furious, like, I want an end to that. I want to know that there is someone putting thought into how this amazing series
They
is gonna
aren't.
end.
They weren't until they decided they need to.
Oh, it's too soon.
Paul Walker.
No, I don't mean the ending. I mean like the fact that there's like this one villain or
Did you just
whatever,
cross
right?
yourself?
I did.
What?
I only ever cross myself when people die. That I really appreciate.
I always liked the priest cross that I always wanted to do, which was the
Yeah, like this.
like the Buddhist monk sort of like karate.
Nope, that's
Where
not
you're
a
like-
Buddhist thing.
I don't think the
They might
Buddhist
come
monk
at
would
you.
cross
They
himself.
might
Maybe.
come at you with this.
Wait,
and then
why
you're
is
like,
that
"Where's
Buddhist monk making the sign of the?
No,
It was the karate. He was
so
warming up
good.
his Buddhist monk karate.
So
He
the most
got me-
important thing
he got
to
me off
me
guard.
about movie theaters, though, is the experience of the before and after. The after, where you go
walk
around,
out
you
with
talk
people.
about it, and you're just like, "What do you think? This is what I think. Oh,
Yeah.
did you catch this? All that stuff." And like, you don't get that just sitting around. No matter what, you just don't. It's not the same.
I love digesting a movie with like 5 people.
But there's also something about the fact that you just paid for this thing. You just all had to watch it. You weren't doing a bunch of other stuff. You're sitting here in this room. You need to respect other people around you, so you have to watch.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're just watching here,
Right.
You know, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Oh, I'm gonna go chill. I'm gonna
Right.
text people.
How many
But
times you
can't
gotta
do that.
pause? Your wife gets up and you're like, do you want me to pause it? Do you
No,
want
it's
me to pause it?"
okay. Are you sure you don't want me to pause it? All right.
And then you pause it. And then my wife always does this because we very seldomly rent movies. Like on Comcast, if you hit the button when you're watching normal TV, it goes back like 30 seconds. If you hit that same button when you buy something,
Oh,
it goes back like 15 minutes. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
I give a
But
shit
also,
for
in
that.
addition to that, I think before the movie is
First
so
world problems.
important with the trailers.
Oh, yeah.
I think trailers
Right, I
are
like
just
this.
as
Oh, yeah.
important as the movie is, but the problem is these days, that's ruined. That's so gone. I'm never in a theater and like, what is this what I think it is? Oh my God, it is. Like, the internet gives you everything. Gives you all the trailers.
Sometimes
no
they-
The last
Now-
awesome one was Chronicle.
Yeah,
Cloverfield.
Yeah.
Cloverfield. Remember that? We went and saw a movie together, and you went to the bathroom to get popcorn or something, and you came back, and I was like trying to explain.
Yeah,
might
it was
be
like Godzilla!
It might be Godzilla, but I'm not sure. And they threw the. Oh my God.
that was a good one. They
And, like,
did
so
a
that's
great
awesome.
job.
But now it's like,
But now they're all
everything
debuted
is
ahead of
out
time.
now the
and
difference
everything.
is, like, I'll be sitting there and like I'm with my friend. I'm like, oh man, it's the Ninja Turtles trailer, and like I'm still excited to see it on the big screen. But
I
it's
totally know what you mean. I've had this trailer in my mind that I'll never get to see, but I think would be amazing if like you go to the theater and you sit down, eat your popcorn, and the lights dim down, and they start to show the trailers, and this trailer is for like. It's like dark, and there's this broody music, and there's lights up. There's these two actors facing each other down, and they have British accents, and they're sort of circling each other, and they're talking about some stuff, and they're like blah blah blah. I have to kill you because of this, and like no, it can never work because of this, and da 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 da, and then they're like okay, and then it's like. And they both light their lightsabers. And you're like, oh my God, new Star Wars movie! That you would never have that.
Yeah.
You would never have that surprise
Oh my God,
today.
I was really excited for a second. I was
Right?
like, wait, that's coming?
How awesome would that be?
Yeah.
I mean,
We can't have that anymore.
Then that's the thing.
We can't
for
have
me,
nice
like,
things.
This is why I hope that theaters never die, even though I know they will. Is that
They won't I don't think they're gonna die.
I do. I
They're
think they
gonna
will.
die off. They'll die off.
I don't know about
So
that.
there'll
I
always
went-
be a little art house like thing. You could play a big movie
Like,
still. Or
would you
whatever.
rather watch like Godzilla opens? Would you rather watch it at home on this TV
No,
or
so
on your
I want
IMAX?
to see it. I want to see it in something the biggest screen I could possibly see it at, as long as it's not 3D and not IMAX.
How's
So it was
Portillo-
shot in
Not
IMAX.
IMAX.
It was not shot in IMAX.
I get you, I get you, I
Did not
get
like
you,
that.
I get you.
But no, I mean there are still those times where like I'll see it the trailer online of like that's really cool. But like I keep coming back to this. I forget what movie I was seeing. I think it might have been The Dark Knight Rises, but I think that timing might be off. And a trailer starts, and I was with my wife, and she goes, "What is this?" She hadn't seen it, and I was like, I was about to say it's Man of Steel, but I stopped myself, and I was like, "Just watch." And she was like, "That looks really, really good. Like, I'm in. Let's go see that." And
I'm
like,
damn.
And then it was not really, really good.
No, sadly, it did not live up, but the trailer was
trailer.
amazing.
She talked about her dampus.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
My wife that would be the thing. That would,
Cared who I was till I put on the mask.
Time to go mobile.
no one cared who he was until he pulled it out of the mouth.
So fucking good.
I would
dude.
want day one digital and movie. Like I don't want the movies to go away.
That's what I'm saying. Give
But
me an
once,
option.
but once that happens, the movie theaters are going to slowly
Yeah,
die.
they're gonna slowly
and
die.
it's the same thing that's happening with game stores right now, right? Game stores are going to disappear.
Yeah.
And because everything will be digital, and anyone who's resisting that, resist away, it's going to happen. And, you know, it'll make things cheaper and make
Same with
games
Blu-rays.
cheaper.
Blu-rays will disappear eventually too.
No.
I
I don't know. I think
Sucks.
a lot of theaters will go away, but look at vinyl today.
Right.
Vinyl is still a thing.
But it's
that
still
people enjoy.
It is, and vinyl's great, and the sound quality on vinyl is awesome.
There are
Unparalleled.
always going to be some people who want to go to the theater.
Sure, but it's the same thing I think about with arcades. Arcades still exist, but they really are like a niche
Sure,
kind of thing.
okay.
Like I like vinyl, and you know, have a lot of buddies that collect vinyl. I don't because it takes up so much room. But like, you know, to me, I think it's a good thing because it will bring movie costs and prices down, and then you'll be able to rent things day and date. Because I agree with Greg in the sense that there are certain movies that come out. Godzilla is actually a good example where I'm like, I'd probably see that. I saw that garbage Godzilla movie in the theater in 1998. And
Please no.
Come with me.
you know I love that song.
Please know that the new Godzilla is worlds better than
I only
that.
saw it because I
really
like that
is.
rap rock song in it.
Oh, so good.
But you know, there are movies where I would actually make. You know, I just hate. I'm like Greg. I fucking hate the movies. You know, like I like the experience. If I'm sitting in a theater in a quiet theater by myself or with just a few people and enjoying the movie on the big screen, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's never like that. And you know, I don't enjoy watching with other people. I don't enjoy the gasps and the laughter. It's just like I don't need like it feels like you know taped laughter on Golden Girls or something. Like I don't need that. I want to be able to enjoy it on my own
It's,
terms.
it's the opposite of tape laughter on Golden Girls. It's real laughter. There's people enjoying it with you.
The exception, like to all of my bitching about movie theaters, right, was Avengers. And like I usually go and see most superhero movies at midnight. I've just been too busy this summer
love that,
blockbuster
so-
season. And Avengers was the most electric crowd I've been in outside of a
so
wrestling
good.
event. Because people were like freaking out, and I always tell a story of, you know, when we sat through and got to the after credit scene with Thanos or whatever, there was a girl in front of me who stood up, screamed, waved her arms like Kermit the Frog, like she was at a Beatles show, and I was just like, "Damn, Thanos kind of sucks, and you people are fucking all in. I
Thanos
love
is
it."
Awesome.
Oh, the Dark Side knockoff, please.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Read a comic every once in a while.
I would say
Please.
I totally agree with Greg that going to the movie sucks in a regular theater situation. But here in San Francisco, we have Kabuki. In LA, they have the ArcLight theaters.
Yeah.
If you can reserve your seat ahead of time,
Alamo Draft
if they're
House.
serving alcohol,
Yeah,
then
but
then it's awesome.
see, even then, I don't want to drink because I have to pee.
No, I will totally drink to the movie.
That's
but I
pretty
also
bad.
agree with Colin that the best entertainment for adults being made today is on TV. Unquestionably.
Absolutely.
Colin's looking up something.
Well, I
else
mean,
for
I
him.
also think that
Some
like
fucking Bane.
they're not going to
know
make
what
movies
Colin's
for
gonna
adults because that limits the audience.
Right.
on
I mean,
making
I
the
think about
money.
it all the time, like, or not all the time, but on this one especially, all the commercials they were showing for the theater and all these other things, and like the way they were talking to kids and shit about like graduation, it was just like, man, that's right. In high school, all we fucking did was go to the movies.
Yeah.
Friday night, go to Michael Bryan's house, get a piece of pizza, go to the movies. You know, Saturday probably go to the movies.
I think that's another thing
Then
too.
play
Is like
Smash
for me,
Brothers.
I grew up here in the Bay Area and in San Francisco, and I still go to the same theaters that I grew up going to in high school and stuff. So there's something about it. I'm just like, yep, this is right. This
Yeah.
just feels right.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't care that I'm growing up. Like it's still.
They all stay
I
the
feel
same
like I'm
age.
surrounded. Yeah.
I loved Godzilla, but the best movie I've seen in theaters this year is The Raid 2.
Oh, I did not see that.
Super hard R.
I did not see that.
So good.
I loved the raid.
Dude, The Raid 2 is even better.
Ah,
Yeah, you got to see it.
all right.
all right. That's a good topic.
Portillo's got the goat over here.
Colin's
He
on
doesn't
the
have the goat. He's killing his
Got it
toy.
here.
Colin will continue to look for his sound bites
Alright.
until it's all done. Nick,
Yes.
what do you got for me?
This is another topic from Twitter. As all of you know.
Will you ever have an original idea?
Nope, I don't need them
Okay,
because that's
good.
what Twitter's for.
Oh, okay,
If you
good.
follow me on Twitter, please feel free to share your topic ideas with me. And once in a while,
The stuffing is out of that thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
This is what. See,
he's killing that.
what
thing.
Portillo does is he has all these toys that he loves and plays with all the time. But when guests come over, he eviscerates one of them to show
Is he
how
trying
tough
to
he is.
impress me?
Yeah, he is. That's a brand new toy
Yeah,
from
that thing's
Kansas,
dead.
now destroyed.
This comes from @the_s dog.
The S dog.
It says, what film, show, book, etc. villain would you most likely be? For Colin and Greg, I'd say Mr. Wint and Mr. Kid.
I don't even know who
Not
the fuck
familiar
that
with
is.
those
Not
people.
sure.
Sounds
that is
about
either.
right though.
Am I Mr. Wint or Mr.
Yeah,
Kid?
you wins definitely.
I have to look it up. We'll have to look that up.
I can look it up. Mr. Wint, Mr. Kid.
Tim,
Yeah.
if you had to be a villain,
So
any
here's
villain.
the thing: is the question if I got to choose or
Yeah,
who
you
would
gotta
I
choose.
most like?
Who would you wanna
The
be?
question is who would you most likely be? Because like
Oh,
those would probably like I want to be Jafar because Jafar's awesome.
let's do it. Let's go.
But
with
I
who-
would more likely be Iago.
Why do you want to be Jafar?
Jafar's awesome. He has the.
Which one was Jafar?
He
That
was
guy
the
from Aladdin?
Aladdin's kid.
Oh, he was
Aladdin
badass.
3, Jafar needs glasses.
What?
It's a Family Guy joke.
I'm gonna go with who would you want to be, and also let's do that. Let's say who would you want to be and who would you most likely be, like your ideal person, and then the person you'd most
Yeah.
likely.
So Jafar and Iago.
Okay.
Who's Iago?
Iago's Jafar's bird.
Okay.
Wow.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that. I get
Who
that
do I want to
reference.
be?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
She's wondering why someone would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane.
That's who I want to be. Who I think I'd be? Someone more like the Riddler, probably.
You think you'd be the Riddler? Someone just genius and
The
psychotic.
Riddler.
I
Or-
could see you as the Riddler.
Who,
You're not eccentric enough.
I want to be a Batman villain.
He's pretty eccentric.
Why a Batman villain?
Because the Batman universe is the only interesting superhero universe.
Also, because you're never gonna die. He's always gonna save you, no matter what.
I don't know. I don't care. I just want.
You don't want to be Calendar Man?
Oh, I'll be Calendar Man.
Here's one of my favorite Colin jokes we had going for a while that would just crack ourselves up for no fucking reason at all, just because we're stupid goons. But he used to make fun of when the Batman games were coming up, the first few. You know what I mean? We talk about who's going to be in it, and he'd call it the bullshit that everybody's just Calendar Man or whatever, Batman or whatever. He's like, does he fight Predator Man? Just the most like fucking baseline villain. Just he's a predator. He's a predator.
He's
man.
probably upset because he knows that's a Mega Man thing. Everyone's a blank man.
Yeah, that is disappointing. Yeah, Dr. Wily would be a fun villain to be. But I authentically really enjoy the Batman universe. I
Yeah.
like the Batman universe. I think it's interesting. I've always been interested in it since I was a kid. And I don't like superheroes or comic books at all, but I like the grittiness and the darkness and the kind of realism of a lot of the villains and stuff like that. Like I've told Greg a million times, like, you know, Joker could be a real person. You know, like Riddler could be a real person. Bane in this is a real person. Like he's not in the cartoon, I guess I used to watch, I think.
I was real.
But well, he was like a big
He was all
oaf.
But he had
Yeah,
the venom.
he was
He had the
yoked.
serum
Yeah.
that would make him big.
Poison Ivy, I guess, couldn't be real. Freeze could be real depending on how you portray him. I'd actually really be interested to see a Christopher Nolan style portrayal of Freeze.
That'd be amazing.
But you know, so I would want to be a villain in that universe. I don't know enough maybe about the, you know, all the smaller
Sure.
villains or whatever, but I'd want to be a villain in that universe, for sure.
I'd be Joker.
You go Joker.
Yeah, just
Not Lex?
crazy. Just crazy. No. Lex is
dumb.
no, he's not dumb. He's actually interesting. But like, it's just one of those things where like Lex is just too blinded by his hate for it. At the core of Lex, just like he's trying to protect humanity. He doesn't trust this alien. You know what I mean? He wants.
I always say you just want to take over the world.
Well, if that's because you just watch the fucking movies where all he wants is land. Land,
No, he wanted to
Otisburg.
create his own
Shut
land.
the fuck up, God. That's the worst.
I'm gonna create my own land.
In the comics, I mean, he's really well done, I think, and just the
Okay.
fact that he's trying to protect humanity, and he thinks, but obviously there's a bunch of narcissism in there, right? That
Yeah.
he wants to be the savior of humanity. That's really what it comes down to.
See, I think that's what that kind of ties into I would like to think that I could be Magneto. Because oftentimes Magneto is just fighting for his people, which I
That's
can
all he
respect.
ever does, which is
I
why
can
he's a really
respect.
good villain, right?
Now,
Like, he's a-
sometimes he steps over the line, but he does it in an altruistic fashion. He's doing it
That
for a
kind of
good
floats
reason.
over
He's doing it for the
Also,
mutants, right?
The toe float thing is
Yeah.
always badass. He's not like flying like everyone else. He just chills and floats up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and his toes are always kind of awkwardly pointed up for no reason. It's rad.
Really?
Yeah. If you look at the books, the way they have to draw him,
Oh, the
sometimes the way
books,
they
okay.
sometimes the way they draw him is like his toes are just like his feet are kind of like off.
Like they're in stirrups.
little
Like
tongue.
he's
It's
about
like a
to get
weird, yeah, like
examined.
he's, I don't know what's gonna happen. But also, he has the coolest. Like he has one of those powers that's really cool, really powerful, not 100% like he's got vulnerabilities, which I like. Like he's not invulnerable, but
See,
he's
what I really
almost
like,
invulnerable.
what I like about his power is you hear it and you're like, oh, that's cool. He controls metal, and then it's like, oh wait, no, you don't even understand. There's so many cool ways you can use it. There's iron in your body, and there's this and there's that, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's X-Men has something special going on because they really think about that. shit.
But you can put him in an environment that can neutralize that. So it's interesting. He's got depth.
Yeah.
But I'd probably most likely be someone like the Penguin, who has to be.
Another great villain.
I think he's kind of a lame villain. He's kind of just short.
I like
Doesn't really
him.
look that good in a suit.
Isn't he supposed to be like just a corrupt businessman?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Oswald.
That's awesome. I mean, that's what's so cool about Batman villains is that they're all just
dudes.
dude. Like
They're
I loved
archetypes of bad people.
Like Nolan's Scarecrow was awesome too. I thought just a dude in a suit with a burlap sack over his head.
That was
fucking
freaky.
loved it.
That
Like
was
I was
pretty
like, this is
terrifying.
awesome. You know, like that. Maybe that's another cool character. I'd be. You know, just
Deathstroke's a cool villain. I like to be Deathstroke.
in the Flash.
He's fought Flash a few times.
Oh damn it!
Wasn't nearly as fucking clever as that.
Describe to me Deathstroke because I always get him confused with
He's
the
got
Merc with
katanas
the
or something,
mouth.
right?
Deadpool.
Yeah,
Deadpool.
similar. They're. I mean, like.
But he only has one eye, right?
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
one
yeah.
guy. Okay, so
He's a very serious assassin. He's not like jovial like Deadpool.
Okay.
But he's like, imagine like he's like Batman negative. Like he's like, instead of fighting for good, he fights for evil kind of
Okay.
thing. I have to kill everybody. He
But
uses,
is he a
he
badass?
uses swords and he'll kill people. He uses guns and he'll kill people.
Okay.
But he does it for money usually. He's really good in Arrow. If you haven't gotten to him.
So I got to him in Arrow, and I figured that was him, but then I didn't watch the next episode because I can't get
Yeah.
into Arrow.
Manu Bennett.
I watched that
Here,
episode
kid.
when they're on the island.
No.
Yeah,
Got a little bit of a Lost vibe.
it does.
Thought the Dharma Initiative was gonna pop up at any minute.
The Dharma Initiative. It's the bane of my existence.
4, 8,
I
15,
wanted
16,
it.
23,
I
42.
wanted it to end well.
I liked all of the Lost seasons except the last one.
Oh God,
I wouldn't even watch it.
bad.
After the first two, it was really all downhill.
It really was. That
The
once
second
they got
one
on
was
the
the
boat,
best.
once they were on the boat in the middle of the ocean, and people were like, "No, we have to keep going to the island," and no one was like, "Just go, just turn the boat around, screw them." Which is what I would have done.
Gotta get my boy. What? Gotta save my boy.
How are you aging so quickly?
All right. Did we cover everybody? Did you talk?
I don't think Daemon got
Yeah.
one.
Now, I was confused. Is the question super villain or just any villain?
Any villain.
Okay, then T-1000.
That's a
Oh.
good one. That's a really good one because you're never gonna die, but you don't have you don't get joy out of life.
But does that make you Skynet kind of like part of the network
You're
itself?
the cog in the machine, Hatfield.
Yes.
So Skynet, because wouldn't that be because then you'd be everything that Skynet
Well, that's, I
controls.
mean, that's a bigger thing.
Yeah.
Oh, then I want to be Johnny Depp in Transcendence.
Shut up, Greg. That's a good choice. Damon's choice is interesting. I like that one.
I like that.
That is good.
I'll be the T-1000.
Remember Terminator Salvation, Greg?
Why the T
Yeah.
Why the T-1000 though? Why does that
As
draw?
opposed to the T-800?
Well, I mean, Schwarzenegger was a better looking man.
But I'm not Robert Patrick.
I guess
who-
you
that's
could look,
who
I
the
guess you
actor
could
was.
look exactly however you
Yeah,
want to look,
you
right?
can. I can
You
look
could look
like.
you could
I'm
be
gonna
a
look like.
T-1000 right now.
I'm gonna look like
We
Clive
would know.
Owen. Is what I'm gonna look like.
I thought you'd say a hot girl.
Clive Owen.
You think I'm?
Clive Owen's a good looking man.
What do you- I mean,
He's like my.
Oh yeah, what was
he's
the
like
Terminator
my guy.
model in Terminator 3?
Oh, the girl?
Yeah.
But I mean, the T-1000 can just be anything.
Christina Loki.
Yeah, he can look like whatever.
It's like I thought you were gonna do like how like when you play Saints Row, you make like a naked woman and run around and do stuff.
Oh, well, I'd probably want to switch it up. Yeah.
Just once in a while. All right, that makes sense.
Would you? I mean, knowing yourself, would you? That first instance where you were a woman, what would you do? Would you be like, I
I'd
got
probably do some groping.
Yeah.
around.
What is this all?
You gotta check it out, right?
Well, I mean, like you're a robot, right? So it's not like it would have any
Well,
feeling,
that's what I'm
right?
saying. You would kind of be like devoid of all emotions. Like unless you had a mission, you wouldn't have a point if you're the T-1000. You'd just be cool. Like you do cool stuff, and you'd be really cool at a party.
Yeah, you'd be the best of the party.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I don't
Nothing
have
cooler
I
than
don't-
Skynet at a fucking party.
Like someone's like, can you take this bottle off? And you're like, like here's the bottle cap. It's off. That was. I got Greg. I get him once every.
I just
podcast.
like the least sexy way. Like you're is the T-1000 drunk? Oh, I can do it. Is it that hard to do like a little bottle cap thing? It isn't.
I can't do it. I can't do it myself.
He's all melty. He just can't get it together.
It's like, dude, you're getting yourself.
Hold on,
all over me.
hold on. I'll get it. Oh.
All right.
All right.
Cool. Well, that answers your question. The _S dog. Thanks.
Colin.
At the _S dog. Sick of these vulgar topics and these topics about fictional things, so I'm gonna go back to my fucking wheelhouse for a minute
it
because
real.
I haven't been there in a while.
Oh, it's a dangerous place.
I was watching Mad Men. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone. The last
spoiler, though.
No, it's not a spoiler. The last episode of Mad Men, the most recent one, took place concurrent to the moon landing.
Fucking spoilers.
And 1969.
They made it. The nuke didn't go off.
No, they made it.
So
There
we're
was
good.
no Soviet base on the dark side of the moon either, like we thought there was going to be.
That was more fascinating. I didn't know that story.
And so I was thinking about, there was two interesting themes in that show that, again, are not spoilers, but I'm sorry, maybe you want to tune out if you're really worried about it. One was like the wonder at that time in 1969, everyone gathering around in the United States and around the world to watch Neil Armstrong and company, Buzz Aldrin go on the moon, like walk on the fucking moon. It's an extraordinary thing when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Because real quick to bring it, I guess this is maybe what you're going to talk about too, but it's something I always take for granted. I remember my mom explaining to me, especially now in this day and age where you send rovers and you're getting all this imagery back. People didn't know what they were going to really find, right? That was the thing. They didn't know what the surface of the moon really was.
Yeah,
that's why,
there was risk of them. They thought they were going to sink into the surface.
When Neil steps off, right, he talks back about there's like a few inches of dust, and
It's like a very fine powder.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So I was thinking about that, but then one of the characters in the show just brings up briefly like this costs an enormous amount of money, and it's a waste of time and a waste of money, and there's problems here on Earth. And I feel like we've kind of succumbed to that mentality recently especially the last 20 years. We don't even have the space shuttle anymore. We pay the Russians to bring our astronauts into space. With the exception of New Horizons and a few probes and satellites, we don't really do any exploration anymore. In the 60s, we anticipated that we would have been to Mars by now, have bases on the moon and Mars, all those kinds of things. And if we kept going at that trajectory and at that pace, we would. So I guess what I'm wondering is, do you feel like space travel, and I'm not talking about intergalactic travel and light speed travel, these things are not possible yet and we don't know how to do them, but just exploring the solar system,
the known galaxy,
and then going to the moon, going to Mars, sending probes to Venus, maybe going under the cloud cover there, going to asteroids, trying to find life on some of the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, etc. Is this valuable? And, it costs an enormous amount of money. We have to understand, and they say it in the show, it cost $25 billion in 1969 to go to the moon. It's an extraordinary amount of money today.
How much is that today?
That's
what are we looking at?
Almost $500 billion, probably.
Jesus.
Trillion.
It was worth it, though.
So that's the thing is, like, here's the positive to me. There was a whole generation of people that were wondering, right?
Yeah.
They were into math and they were into science. They were into rockets and space exploration and science fiction, and it was the last frontier, as they say in Star Trek. It was like the only place we hadn't gone yet.
Right.
We were going to go to the moon. We were gonna do all these crazy things. We were gonna risk everything. It's basically a suicide mission.
Risk it to get the biscuit.
Is it worth it? And should we still be doing things like this, even though we have real problems here on Earth? And that it would cost for us to go to Mars, realistically, like to really go, like we're going to build the craft, we're going to train everyone, it's going to cost hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars.
Colin, let me put it in terms that I think that everyone can appreciate, right? There's a little movie that was made not too long ago called Armageddon. And in that movie, we use all of our technological might to save our species. They say they have a great line in it that I'm going to slaughter and paraphrase. This is for the first time in the existence of any life on Earth, a species has the ability to save itself from extinction. That's all because of that moon landing. That's because we had a competition a while back that gave us the technology that allowed us to save our lives. So if we do not keep on that path, we might be causing ourselves just utter peril.
That's the bigger thing
Utter
to
peril.
me is like the way we sit here and talk about it, right? Like the prospect of a probe on Venus or investigating an asteroid.
I have some data.
Plus, don't you want to see Uranus up close?
Oh yeah.
What's your data?
What cost $29 billion in 1969 is $182 billion today.
Oh, so not quite as bad. Not quite half.
Still sounds like a lot.
It is a lot of money.
The problem is like we're taking for granted all the little steps. All the little missions that not in little in quotes.
Yeah, Gemini and all
we
the
want
Apollo
to jump
missions.
to. Can we go to Mars? All right, cool. Can we go to you know what I mean? Like we want people to go places. So you lose sight of
Can we
why
find the mass relay at Pluto?
Exactly. That was why I remember when, if you remember, I don't remember how many years ago. You probably might, maybe when the first Mars lander landed on July 4th. I remember watching that, being so stoked because it was so cool to see that. You know what I mean? Like that. But I remember it was also a big deal to me because I remember it took how many years? 4 or 2, something like that.
Probably like 18 months or 2
Okay.
years.
Oh, I remember them making a big deal about when they launched it.
The
being like,
planets align and you just launch everything, and then
Yeah.
they're far apart and you don't. No, it's also. I mean, like I just wonder if we complain about money spent. I do. I mean, I'm definitely conservative, and like I don't want money to be wasted. But when people really aim at NASA or they aim at the Endowment for the Arts or they aim at PBS or they aim at all these things, it's like, come on, like government shouldn't be necessarily having to fund culture and art and science, but it should.
Yeah.
And that's not where the money's wasted. The money's wasted in entitlements and all of that garbage, Social Security, Medicare, and the military.
Small wars
and if you,
that we're
and,
starting
yeah,
and still fighting.
And if like you just took half of the military budget and put it
yeah,
into
look.
science and funded, you know, things down here, agricultural research and
Yeah.
robotics and space travel and all these kinds of things, like it makes people wonder and makes people engaged and excited like people used to be. Like, we're fucking stupid today because we have nothing to aspire to, you know. And I was watching that show and really thinking like that must have been an amazing time because people wanted to get into astronomy, they wanted to get into astrophysics, they wanted to get into engineering. This was like what they aspired to do. They were reading Ray Bradbury books one minute and they were looking at the fucking TV and we're on the moon, you know.
Yeah.
And like we don't
Yeah.
do shit like that
Yeah,
anymore.
but see, I think it's valuable to want to know what's in space and to do all that stuff. I don't think it's worth it because of the money and stuff. Like, we have so much problems here. You're right. Like, why don't we just use that money to fix the shit going on here? And I feel like the competition is just different. Like, before everyone wanted to be an astronaut, now everyone wants to be, I don't know, it makes like TV makes it seem like people want to be coders and all this stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
but
that's
that's-
what's cool.
Now everybody wants to make money.
Yeah, which
Now,
I don't think that was. I mean, like for what he's talking about, I think there was a while there where people were like, "I want to be a scientist," or "I want to go to this," and I want to. I mean, I don't think people were in that for the money.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of people now, like a lot of people that aren't necessarily in it for the money. They're in it for the, like, yeah, the money's a byproduct of it, but it's like, I want to create something. Like, I want to be the next Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's that drive to be that. Like, maybe that's not money, but that is that in
Well, I
the
feel
same
like
way,
the
like, they
reason
want
that
to be
is-
the guy
is
going to
because
the moon.
We haven't really been funding that space exploration, right? Like,
Yeah, we only spend like $15 billion a year on it. Like, that's barely enough to do anything.
and everything's PR, right? Everything's like, yeah, Steve Jobs, everyone aspires to be him. Well, because he was such an iconic figure, everyone wants to be that iconic figure.
Yeah, doesn't
They
everybody want to
be
be famous? I guess. Maybe
Yeah, they want to
that's
be
the different
famous. They
thing.
want to have a company that's the best company in the world. They want to be a billionaire.
If you're not Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, or the crew of Apollo 13, or the teacher who died in the Challenger, like what spacemen, what astronauts are there really that are like famous? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was just something interesting I was thinking about, just in the sense that we don't aspire as a people. Like, that took real sacrifice. We sent people to the moon in spacecraft that had the fucking processing power of a TI-82 calculator. You know, we fucking did it.
It's
Can
awesome.
you imagine like what we could do with Apple technology, what we can do with all the things we make on Earth for practical purposes, if we just said like, we're gonna spend the money to do this, and it might not be practical, and maybe we get some minerals and some rocks and we learn a little bit more about space, but maybe it brings a whole nother generation and brings them into the things that they really should be studying. I was talking to my friend Sarah recently, who's a teacher, about, you know, how I'm really frustrated that no one said to me, I'm so happy that I majored in American history, and you know, I went to, you know, I'm proud of the school I went to and all that kind of stuff, but no one ever said to me like, you know what, like, this is great that you want to do this and this is fantastic, but, and historians are necessary and people must know this information, but maybe you want to study math. Maybe you want to study engineering or be a scientist or a physicist or a biologist or a chemist. You know, we need those kinds of people.
Yeah.
And we don't have
See,
them. To
that's
the point where we actually have to get immigrants to come here to fill in our high-tech jobs because no one's studying that shit, because everyone says it's okay, go study, you know, medieval English literature and get a master's degree in that. And that's fantastic and you're educated, but is it practical and is it useful? And like, I feel like we just don't have anyone like we did in the 50s and 60s with Gemini and all these things in Apollo, where it was, you know, this is what you want to do and here's the result of what you want to do and look how fucking cool this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know?
what's so cool about it? I get that it's cool, but like,
what's so cool about it?
no, it is super cool, but like, I don't understand like what's so practical about that. Like, great, we went to the damn moon.
Well, a lot of stuff.
One thing that might be that sounds a little crazy.
like, it's that's super
That sounds like a
awesome.
young person that doesn't get it.
I don't
actually.
get it. I don't get a lot of things, but like, I just
You don't
like,
think it's
No,
mind
it is-
blowing
it's
that we
mind-blowing.
left this planet?
That's cool,
and
but like,
went
what did we get
to
from
the
that?
moon?
What did we get from it?
We got moon rocks.
Well, see, I think
We got
that,
great. We got
Dude,
moon rocks.
I think that
Just
what
the feat,
Colin's-
like let's say I was able to, you know, run this entire block in a half-second flat. What did we get from it? Nothing. But it's amazing that I
It is-
did
no,
that.
it
It's
is amazing.
incredible that I
I'm
did
totally
that.
would
with
be
that.
amazing
It
that
is
you
so
did
that.
amazing.
That's the moon.
But who cares? Like, why do we need to like change
Well,
what we're studying
I
and
think
stuff
it's,
so that we can do cool
because
things?
I think it's the sense of wonderment, right? Like Colin was saying, like the iconic line from Star Trek is space, the final frontier. There is a vast, just infinity out there of unknown possibilities. That has a sense of, and carries with it a sense of wonderment that we should be encouraging in people that are growing up and in each other, right? And what Colin's talking about is like, for 1 second, because of the indulgence in that sense of wonderment, the entire world watched the same thing. Like, there was probably not one person, unless you didn't have a TV, which I'm sure there were plenty of people. But if you had a TV and you could get that signal, you were watching that event as that happened, right? And there are very few things other than huge catastrophes that we actually, join us as a.
That's what I was thinking
public.
about. I was trying to remember, like, again in Mad Men, and this isn't a spoiler. The next day, Peggy makes a presentation and she talks about it right away.
Right.
Like, I know y'all watched that. And I was trying to think about it. Like, what is the last positive event that we all were like the next? I guess like Obama
It
getting
definitely
elected.
wasn't the Olympics, because I didn't even know those were happening until
Right,
they were
like
over.
Obama getting elected, that was a big deal, right? The first black president. That was something we all did, but I don't think the whole world watched it like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I bet they did actually.
Some people did actually.
I
Probably.
mean, I don't know. I hear what Tim's saying in the sense, like, we got a lot of practical science from the space program, and a lot of things that you use every day come from NASA.
Well, and let's-
but like a lot of shit, like plenty of shit. But like, so like, well, we don't know because it's the proofs in like having to use it in those extraordinary circumstances. But to me, I've been reading a lot, and I have been recently about. There's a lot of declassified documents from the government and all, just a lot of talk about what we thought we were going to do. And I was telling Greg that one of the things that, like, we thought we would have moon bases in the 50s. The government wrote all this stuff up anticipating that we'd have moon bases, and not only would we have moon bases, but that we would be fighting the Soviets on the moon.
Yeah, but see, that's what I was going to say. We don't have an enemy anymore, because the enemy is the competition that bred the excellence of us getting to the moon, right? The reason we went to the moon was because we wanted to get there first so we can get a strategic advantage over the Russians, right?
Yeah, well, we wanted to disprove the superiority of our science.
Yeah.
And we were behind the entire
Yeah,
time.
so-
I mean, they sent the first man into space, first woman into space, first animal into space. They sent the first rover or the first probe to Mars or to the moon.
Was
They
the
went
first
to
animal-
Venus.
yeah.
Like, they sent, their probes to Venus, landed on Venus. The crushing pressure destroyed those crafts. But like, the moon landing was so extraordinary. The Soviets would always tell us, like, you guys are full of shit. Your shit sucks. Like, all that kind of stuff. They never disputed that we went to the moon. They knew we went to the moon. Like, they were impressed by it, and like, it humbled them, and it took a lot of brain power and a lot of minds. That was a smart generation. I guess what I'm saying is, I want us to get back to that point. I want us to start, I want us to squabble about the money that our government spends. We have an enormous debt, but I want us to look where we're spending the money and what we're spending the money on. Our entitlement programs are fucking huge and outrageous. Our military programs are huge and outrageous. We have all these bullshit departments that we don't need to be paying for, a bureaucracy. We can take that money and give it to brilliant scientists and inspire a generation of kids and do what our forefathers in science thought we were going to do already, which was go to fucking Mars, go to Mercury, go to Venus, go to Europa and Io and Titan.
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah.
Like, one of the great things that I think is happening and a lot of people don't pay attention to is in 2005 we launched a probe called New Horizons that's going to Pluto, and it gets there next year. We've never seen Pluto. We don't know what Pluto looks like. We only have these like 4, 5, 6 pixel images because it's so fucking far away, and we're eventually going to go within 5,000, 10,000 miles of it and see it, and that's extraordinary. We don't have the technology to do that. Hubble can't see it. You know what I mean?
I think that,
and like
like-
that's amazing.
So, like, I think that there is, though, a resurgence of that, right? I think I can really thank Cosmos for it, because there was a time, I don't think I've ever talked astrophysics with anyone in my entire life before, but there was like a week period there where all of us were like, no, dude, a black hole is this. No, this is what a quasar is. This is a pulsar. Like, this is this. That's really, really cool. I think maybe that's one step into it, right? Is having more television that's like that really is well produced, kind of like Star Trek. Because there was a time also where Star Trek and Star Trek Generation, all those shows would help kind of fuel that a little bit, at least for me. Like, I'm still watching Voyager, which, again, I don't know if it's better than Deep Space Nine. Please tell me if you think
I
it's
think
better.
most people think Voyager is better than Deep Space.
Is it?
which one has Scott Bakula?
That was Enterprise, which I actually really liked, but no one else did, sadly. It was not the best of the Star Trek shows. But like, that's what we still have those. But you're right. I don't know what it would take. I don't know what it would take to get people back on that track. Like, it's just like Tim's talking about. It's just not a priority. I don't know how to get the youth of America to see it as a priority.
It's a shame, right? Because we were so close. Like, we set foot on the moon.
But close to what?
We're still going to it.
Well, we were so close to this arc of being like of enlightenment, where we were like, we're fucking going.
But I mean, like,
we're in
great.
space.
What's the ultimate goal here? Like, to spend a shit ton of money to then go up to this cheese rock.
Well, we could be on Mars. We can go to Mars. We can figure out. We can figure out. There's extraordinary things we can do.
There's
There's
oil on one of these planets, Tim.
It's not even about the.
I mean,
It's not. Even,
I-
there's
I
obviously
mean,
not oil because oil is fossil fuels.
Hey, there might be oil. That would trip
But
you
dude,
out.
there's so many reasons.
Gold. There might be gold.
First of all, there's no
Rare
way.
ore.
There's no way that we're the only life in the universe. It
Yeah,
would
for
be
sure.
it would be
I get that.
stupid if we were. All right, so that's one thing. The other thing
Wait,
is
what would
that
be stupid life.
if we were the only
We're
life
the
in the
only
universe,
ones. That makes no sense.
that's so dumb.
No, it's mathematically impossible.
Stupidly dumb. The other thing is that any scientist, any expert will tell you that there's no way we can keep up our lifestyle on planet Earth
Okay,
the way
call.
it is right now. Unless everyone agreed to stop having babies, there's no way we can keep this up.
Thanks, Justin.
We really do have to like figure something out. Like whatever the new Chris Nolan movie is, Interstellar. Like that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like we may have to move one day.
Well, what if we just put that money into figuring out the problem with what we got? Like,
Well, because
figure some other shit
I
out.
don't think that we can figure the problem out. I think the problem is
we
not
gotta go to
it's-
space.
No, it's systemic. Well, I mean, there's a lot of there like in early NASA days, we assumed that we would go to Mars, that we would try to terraform it, that like we would figure these amazing things out, do these amazing things that we can do, create things called Dyson spheres, which are like you put around the sun to harness its power. It's like an infinite amount of power. We often think that we might not be able to see the stars that intelligent life, their planet revolves around, because they build Dyson spheres around their suns, which would block all of the light out.
Really?
And it grabs all of the energy out of the sun. Like there's these extraordinary mind experiments, but that are practical and we can do them. The only thing we can't do is travel faster than light, but we can probably figure that out
We
too.
got to figure that out.
There's two things, Nick.
And here's why that's cool. Because you get to see something do that cool Star Trek thing where it goes, Zoop.
See,
That's
my thing,
badass. That's
the
worth
thing
it right
like,
there.
why
for
does it
me.
even matter? Is because we can't make the big jump to leaving our galaxy and doing something else until we make all those small steps.
I totally get why it's valuable. I think it's not worth it. Is the only thing. I think there's so
To
much
find
more.
another life out there, it would unify the entire planet. We'd end all wars.
No, see, but that's the
There'd still
thing.
be a lot of assholes. But
No, like you can't say that. It's
Yeah, I
like,
can. I
there's
just
so
did. I
many
just
bad
said it,
things that
everybody.
can
I
happen
think you
from
just said,
this.
can we get playback?
Like, there's so many risks. There's the risk that there's
Good
nothing.
douche.
There's the risk that they're fucking assholes, and I'm gonna bet they're.
That is the
fucking
one thing is they're
assholes.
probably going to kill us. They're going to kill us.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories on that. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's two things that are going to strike people really hard in the next 10 or 15 years that are going to make people wonder why we just gave up on this. One, that the Chinese are going to the moon and they're going to fucking land there. And you bet, and they have a lunar program and they're going to go and we're going to fucking see them walking up there. And we're going to be like, motherfuckers. They beat us to it and now they're way ahead of us and they're going to keep going,
Yeah.
They're not
What,
going
are
to
they
stop
gonna
at the
do
moon.
like
They'll go to
colonies?
Mars, and they're going to be the ones that pioneer. God bless them, because they're doing great science that I'm sure they'll share with everyone. But like, it's a national pride thing. Like we went to the moon.
Yeah.
The Canadians didn't go to the moon. The Europeans didn't go to the moon. We went to the moon.
Can't do
And
shit ever.
the Chinese are going to send an astronaut to the moon. That is something they're going to do, and and they're going to walk there, and they're going to have this great modern technology.
And all of us as a world are gonna watch them, and it's gonna be like, that's fucking cool. And we're gonna go back to playing with our iPads and our next gen shit that's actually gonna fix things. Well, the Chinese are up on the moon chilling.
Our iPads are gonna fix things.
Yes, the next gen of
It's
that. and
solved,
whatever
it's
we're
solved for
figuring
me
out.
how I can read comic books easily.
The other thing that's going to happen is that private enterprises like SpaceX and all these other companies are going to be the ones that go into space, and it will be for profit. And we're going to wonder like why.
That's how Aliens is, like Wayland Company,
yeah.
man. They go out there to like mine stuff.
That's exactly right. And like
Come
and
back
that's
with
fine,
aliens.
and that's great. I mean, that's practical. We need to mine asteroids and all those things, and that's super practical,
Come
and that's
back with
great.
aliens.
But
Like those Canadians.
But we're gonna wonder like
Shit.
why we let go of the altruism of going to space and doing it ourselves and doing it as a people instead of letting companies with lots of money and vested interests doing it. And that's gonna happen too. Like we don't have a fucking space shuttle right now.
Aren't they building them though?
They're building a
Okay,
new
just make
generation
sure,
of
just
them.
make
Yeah.
sure.
We retired the space
They're
shuttle. Like, we'll just
cool-looking,
pay the
too.
Russians to go to the space station.
Well, with
You know,
all due
like-
respect, they were exploding, so we needed to get them off the market.
That's fine, but you think that we would have had the foresight to be like, maybe we should build these concurrent to fixing the space
Oh, yeah,
shuttles and
you'd
doing
like
all
to
these kinds
think
of things.
that,
When
yeah.
are they going to make a spaceship that looks like the Starship Enterprise? That
Shut up, Nick.
Like get
Yeah,
kinda
really,
and
they
just
go.
They'd have
launch
to
into
build that in
space.
orbit, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that'd be. Oh, but you know what I mean? Like, what are they going to make one that looks like a spaceship should look?
I don't know. I don't know.
Not
If,
just
I don't know
like
if
a
that looks
fucking
practical, to be honest. with
bloated
everything
ass
else.
plane.
But-
yeah, like that one. Like the current spaceships. No offense to spaceships out there, it does look like it put on a couple pounds.
But
you know?
here, I'll end it with this, right? I think that part of government, part of our society is not only the things that we say, but the things that we do. And it's important to fund art, and it's important to fund history and historical sciences and archaeology and all these kinds of things, because really it's chump change at the end of the day compared to Medicare or Medicaid or the Army's budget and all these kinds of things. And it's important for us to focus on science. It's really, really important. Like really, really important to focus on science and engineering and mathematics.
Yeah.
And a private company like Apple is not inspiring that. A private company like Apple inspires you to sit with your fucking iPad and play with it and wait for them to release the next iPad.
Yeah.
Sure.
Going to space and seeing with your eyes what these amazing people do and these amazing scientists build and these brave astronauts that go to space with no guarantee. Apollo was looked at as many people as a fucking suicide mission. You know, the fact that they came back is amazing. They went through the Van Allen belt and all these things, fucking bombarded with radiation. You know, like we have people on this planet that really walked there, and I think that inspires a new generation to do cool shit. And we are stagnant as a people. Our technology, as Ray Kurzweil or whatever always talks about, is the exponential growth of technology, right? The singularity. We're getting there, but we're getting there in weird ways. We're not getting there in cool ways. You know what I mean? And
I
like,
don't agree with this at all. We have so much cool shit. I want cooler shit, but I don't think like
what's cool? I mean, we have a computer and then a computer and a computer and a computer and a tablet and an iPhone and an iPhone and a tablet and a computer.
cool.
But like, what do we use them for?
cool
Trophies.
things.
For
Trophies.
Snapchat.
We use them
Awesome.
so to take
With
pictures
Daemon,
and
I
tweet
like
with
to
each
use them
other.
for Snapchat.
We're not using them to figure out amazing answers to science that can contribute to the historic knowledge that started with the ancients. You know, and go forward to
I know.
today.
It sounded like you're interrupting to say something important. You're like, and then just like, nope, got
Because
nothing.
it's really dry. It's really dry.
So that's
in San
it.
Francisco right
Just
now.
wanted to bring that up and kind of rant about
I'm
that.
with Colin.
I think it's good.
I want
That
there
was
to be
fun.
Star Trek. I want to get to Star Trek. I want to be able to think that one day we'll have Star Trek. Then they'll come back in time for some reason.
What do you want about Star Trek, Nick?
To explore universes
That's
and to beam
really
places.
it's just to
I
explore.
want them to
go
figure
in the
out
woods.
teleportation.
Go explore the woods.
Seen
But
it.
that's the thing, Tim, is
Seen
that there
it.
is nothing left to see.
I want to find the
in the
aliens.
woods. What
There's-
about really deep in the ocean?
There's that, yeah.
I
We
feel
can go
like
into some of the
there's
trenches.
places
They always say that there's plenty of undiscovered life, and that's fantastic. What's really out there? The age of discovery in the 14, 15, 16, 1700s. You know, when Columbus was going around, Magellan, all the, you know, Marco Polo, everyone was traveling around. That was a time of wonder in the old world. That was a time when people would fucking read the shit out of their journals and wait for them to come back. Everyone was wondering, when Magellan come back, what would he see? What would he do? Did he really go around the world? We don't have anything like that anymore. Going out into space is the next thing.
Here's why I love the concept of, like, if we could fire that back up. A lot of our technology came from that too. A lot of our current technology came from that. So if they were to able to figure out a means of travel that was faster than light, that would come down to Earth at some point, and we could go to China tomorrow if we wanted to.
See,
in
I
like
get that.
5 seconds.
So why that happened? Because there was a fight, right? Competition that things had to start.
Generally, yes.
Let's have a fight here. Let's
Well,
have
some of that
competition
stuff
here.
came out of World War II, which is not very good either. But
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
that's
we
the
don't
thing.
need
That's
to
what
go to
Colin's
space
saying is
to have a war.
we don't inspire people to have that sort of competitive nature towards space travel because there's no profit in it, and oftentimes our society right now is it's all led by profit. If you can't make a profit on something, people just don't do it nowadays, which kind of sucks. You know, back in the day, we did it for national pride. We hemorrhaged money to be the first to say in the species of human beings that we did this, and we can. Yeah, they made it to space first, but we got to the moon, which for whatever it's worth is awesome.
To draw the line from inventing the wheel to going to the moon is mind-blowingly awesome.
Yeah, and not. Yeah, I mean that's.
Yeah, man, that's
So
a great way
where
to
does
put it.
my iPhone fit into this?
Your iPhone came from probably a lot of computer technology. It was iteration of an
Your
iteration of an
TI-86
iteration.
calculator came from the shuttle that went to the fucking moon.
Yeah, I mean I can't.
That was a
I
joke.
don't know if that's a direct correlation or not. But yeah, I
It
mean
wasn't.
But competition does breed that sort of spirit, right? The
Galaxy,
space the space race sped up technological advancement because we basically poured tons of money into figuring out how to achieve this one thing that, yes, in and of itself didn't do much for us. We didn't come back with space power that was worth billions of dollars, right? But we did feel the effects of it, and we are still feeling the effects of it.
The thing is,
Microwave.
Huh?
Boom. The microwave.
Is that what came from there?
I don't know.
There are
That's the-
1,300
they
pieces
said
of
that in
technology
Men in
that came
Black.
from NASA.
Okay. I get what Tim's saying. That, you know, is it worth it? It's hard to put a value on it. But the problem is that even if you redirected that fund to something else on Earth, like, it's not. It wouldn't be like a simple fix, right? You're never gonna have enough money to fix everything. It's not like we move that money somewhere else that fixes these problems. People are still arguing about people getting married. That's the, you know, what I mean, let's distract
go
them.
space.
Let's
They
distract
can get
them with
married
awesome
there.
space stuff. Yeah. People get to the moon, the gays can just declare it and they
I
can
want
do
to be the
whatever they
first
want.
person married
It's
on the moon.
aspirational and inspirational.
Yeah.
You know, like, take 10% of the military's budget, give it to NASA, and we can do amazing things. You know? End these stupid fucking wars, close our World War II era bases in Europe, do all these things, and give the money to the fucking brilliant people that can do good things. You know? And we can get more amazing technology. I'm telling you, man, like, society can radically change, and Damon's right. I mean, there are practical reasons. The Earth has only got a few hundred years left in it in terms of it being habitable. You know, and like
I hate to
that's
say it, but that's true.
and like the Earth's gonna be here for 5-10 billion more years,
So
right?
keep
Like it's
having
gonna, but it's gonna
kids.
be a fucking dead orb rotating or revolving around a sun or revolving around a star because we're fucking killing it just by the nature of our species. We outwitted evolution. We're the first species on the Earth to ever do it. We are self-aware.
It's
We know
awesome that we're that smart,
Yeah.
but we're like too smart for our own good.
So that's why Einstein and other, you know, Sagan would say like we might extinguish ourselves, and that's in the formula. And I think that was the formula that says how much intelligent life there is in the universe. I can't think of it what the name is. It's not Fermi paradox, but something else. The Drake equation, where one of the things is like the likelihood of a species getting to a point where it extinguishes itself,
Right.
because it becomes too smart. And if you can cross that boundary from not extinguishing yourself with nuclear power or pollution and all these kinds of things, then you're good to go. You know, like in perpetuity. I mean, that's what they say. Like you're transcendent. I mean, you're good to go. If you can get past that point, then you're good to go. Then you start building Dyson spheres around stars. Then you start going to asteroids and mining them. Then you start doing amazing shit. Like,
Yeah.
and then it all trickles down.
I just think of every sci-fi movie that I've ever loved or like wanted to be like in that universe. That's
Right?
what we did. We did
Where
that
there's
stuff.
wars and everyone is
Nah,
dying and there's
see-
lasers that are shooting people.
Nah, and like Star Trek. Like Star Trek was amazing because because of that sort of they hit that level and they went beyond it where they had technology that was given to them by, you know, the Vulcans and other alien races, and they were able to achieve a peace that they have never known. Like the Earth in Star Trek is for all intents and purposes like very, very peaceful. It's one person, it's one federation. I think it's a federation. Well, it's not one person, one
There's
people.
one person.
Rather, I don't think they go.
What have I done?
I don't think there's a lot of governments. I think there's just one government. But that's the thing. It's like it's this utopian society where we're not even run by currency anymore. There's no currency. We just in Star Trek you just kind of go and you explore. Like you have a job and you
just
go
take
up
what
the
you
ranks,
want?
But the whole concept is you're supposed to like, you know, you're propelled in life by, you know, ambition or like wanting to achieve something better, and that's the concept of it, right? So you just go gallivant around the universe and explore new people, and if you're Captain Kirk, have sex with them. It's pretty cool.
The
Good
real
deal.
reason we need a space program is so that we can stop an asteroid when it comes towards us. Right
That's
now,
what I said.
we'd be screwed over. No,
I
you
can
said a whole
stay
bunch of
awake
garbage.
just to hear you breathing.
Also, I watched.
I was like, are you going? Watch it smile.
No,
while
sorry.
you're sleeping.
Also, I watched Alien last weekend, and that movie totally is still awesome.
Yeah,
That's a count against that. That's an argument for Tim. We should probably stay away from space.
I know.
'Cause if we discover that thing,
We're gonna bring back a bacteria one day that fucks us
Screwed.
up.
I'm just saying that movie is really, really good.
Yeah,
it's
it is
totally
awesome.
beautiful. It's really good.
Wayland Yutani Corp.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Game Over Greggy show. Every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around a table, each bringing a random topic of conversation, and they hatch it out for your amusement. If you like that, make sure you get the full MP3 version of the show every Friday over at GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. It's $1. It's totally worth it. But if you say, nuh-uh, it isn't worth shit, no big deal. We understand. It goes up for free, topic by topic, every day as videos over on youtube.com/GameOverGreggy. You can enjoy them there. Friday, the entire show goes live. I was doing that earlier. Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
I do that with everything.
Great minds, as they say.
They fuck alike.
They fuck alike.
Just keep those markers away from my brand new awesome shirt that I'm wearing today.
Oh, this new life-size Portillo shirt that's limited to 35 t-shirts. You can get that one, this one, and a whole bunch of other ones, including Sean Finnegan likes hiking over at districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy. Damon, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Damon.
You were great. Usually, like on the
You're great.
where can people get you? They can get you on the IGN.com.
Oh yeah,
I've heard of it. You got the Game Scoop.
That's so good. Game Scoop, yeah. If people want to check out DamonHatfield.com, that's also a thing that people can check out if they're
a huge-
interested in my music.
I'm also
Nice.
a huge fan of y'all's show, the Knockin' Boots.
That's
We
Super
also have a
Boots?
Super Knockin'
Super
Boots
Knockin'
show.
Boots.
That's
Few
also a
records?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we'll be recording another episode soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, as normal, thank you for coming by, I guess. Yeah, whatever.
Greg.
What
No
else?
problem.
Happy
Thanks.
The guy that hates
Sleeper.
space travel. The guy that just wants to stay at home and not do anything.
What
I
if
got a
it was a
tablet.
spaceship where all the iPads of the future are built into it? And you can
Every
listen-
service
This
is
isn't
an
about
iPad.
iPads. This is about me not want I
All
think
right,
this came
we'll save
off
it for another
incorrect.
time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a
Save it for
pleasure
another
serving
time.
you
Space
this
is cool.
evening. We'll see you next week.